Hello.
There you are. There you are. How are you, fellas? How are you, fellas? How are we all? How are we, fellas united? Is that a football?
Good.
Is
I've
that a
been
football
been at
team?
lectures all day, listening to people talk
Have
about.
you?
Yeah, I've been at a conference with some talks and some guy talking about why we should all stop calling it passwords and use the word passphrases, because even the inventor of the word password of the passwords says it's shit and we should stop using them.
Wow.
For example,
He's not
it was
going to
fun.
change the world now, though, is he? You
No,
know?
he said like passphrases, and I think the guy had a really great solution for it as well. Like you pick a phrase 4 words long at least,
Mhm.
make it as dirty as you can, because then you're never gonna want to tell anyone about it. You don't want to tell anyone how dark your humor is.
There's a good one. There's a good one I was told. You probably know this, Stephen. If you put a GBP symbol, a pound symbol, you know, the for the UK currency in the keyboard, only English people have that on their keyboards. So you can't get anybody.
I can make it.
Well, yeah, but it's not right there, though, is it? You'd have to do Alt character.
Yeah. All
whereas we have it on our keyboards, so
that is cheating them.
Yeah, so people around the world would struggle to be able to put that into guessing that it was a password.
But as you mentioned, like there's very rarely any guesswork involved. It's like try these. It's like these. This is a list of the most 1,000 most common passwords. Just brute for automated run through all of them, see what you get access to.
I don't use passwords these days. It's all about biometrics and using.
I try to.
2-factor authentication. People turn it on.
Yeah, if I can, I do, but obviously you can't always do that. So I always use LastPass or Bitwarden, or I try, but I do biometrics if I can get away with it.
So just curious, Bjorn, 4 dirty words that come to mind.
Right, good question. Like, and it should be like a phrase. I think my edition, like the first phrase that came to mind when he said it was like something like dinosaur penis in the ass or something. Which would be a great
that'll be a strong one, wouldn't it? Just
I mean, you would never put that on a post-it. They put it next to your screen in the office. Because I mean, then someone comes from IT and like, let's see, like, can I help you with your computer? Like, sees that post, like, dude, what the hell is going on here? So yeah, pick a dirty passphrase.
Squids came in just at the moment of dinosaur penis. And wished he hadn't, and I don't blame him for that.
Nope. Yeah, that happened.
Squid could be Squid's Inky Bits.
Could be Squid's Inky Bits. I don't know if that's rude. Is that rude? It sounds rude.
But I mean, it's a better password than most passwords you probably use already. So
yeah,
it's not a bad thing. I mean, now you can't use that because we've already.
Well, I learned the way.
Ray is driving and listening while picking up his daughter. We should probably stop talking about dinosaur penises then.
Yeah, well, no. Hopefully, he hasn't picked her up yet. But but Ray, your daughter isn't young, is she? I think Ray's daughter is an adult. I think so. Maybe she's coming to stay.
Good.
Yeah, it's funny on Twitter. Somebody just said, "Oh, hang on, it says Stadia Rock Show." The trouble is I don't know if this is Twitch or whether it's Melon, but the problem is that you set this thing up once and it gets used all the time. So anyway, anyone who comes along would discover that it isn't the Stadia Rock Show.
Isn't.
Paul Ray probably thought, "Hang on, am I late?" Oh, Winstar, how are you, buddy? Oh, good to see you, my friend. So, fellas. Gaming, what have you been up to? Stephen, been doing much in the old gaming front?
No, I've just been. Well, I have. I've been playing Splatoon, and I actually was playing Ni no Kuni on the Xbox Game Pass. Some people mentioned it. I think it was Mika Kayas. He mentioned it the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to jump in now and actually."
What's it called? Mika Kuni.
Ni no Kuni.
What?
Ni no Kuni, the Wrath of the Witch Queen.
Oh. It's
Japanese.
a
Japanese RPG. It's set in the world of like 2 people got 2 different personalities. One in one world, and then in another world, like a fantasy world, you got the alternative you. And then what happened was the main character crosses over into this like world where magic and fairies and stuff like that exist, and the story unfolds there because there's an evil witch queen ruling over the land, and it's up to you as the hero to sort of save it, and it's from the developer, it's from the art style of Studio Ghibli.
I saw an article about that.
So got like a Pokemon feel to it. So in the end, you collect monsters to battle with you, different mechanics, and traverse the world. So because it was on Game Pass, I thought to myself, wow, this is one game that I used to love in the past. Give it a go. And then I also played Danganronpa as well. So I was like, the more they actually bring these style of games, the more I'm actually invested in Game Pass. So that's what I've been playing.
Winstar's playing Ni no Kuni number 2. How many are there in this series then?
There's only 2. So that's a Revenant Kingdom. So if Ni no Kuni Wrath of the Witch Queen comes first, then I'm hoping that second one won't be too far behind.
And this is on the Switch, presumably.
No, I was playing this on xCloud.
Oh, is that a new one then, or is it?
It got announced last week.
Oh, so it's come this week.
Yeah,
on xCloud. I feel like I want to fall asleep. Oh, the energy!
It's an amazing game. Absolutely,
I'm sure it is. And my comment wasn't pertaining to the game. It was just you were selling it, mate. You were selling it. I wanted to play it. I really did. What about you, Bjorn? Have you been banging a boot? Did you get to try Metal Hellsinger or whatever it was called?
I did only the tutorial though, because I was trying it on the new Kishi that I got this week, and I was trying it on my lunch break as I was like unpacking it. As I had just picked it up and was like, I have like 5 minutes before I need to get back to work. So I did squeeze in a little bit, but it worked really well. So hopefully going to squeeze in some more during the week. Otherwise, I've been mainly playing. I mean, it's usual a bit of Magic the Gathering as always. But then also I did try out the new like Disney game yesterday.
Yeah.
For about 10 minutes. I mean, it looked like something my daughter would like if I can just get her to introduce it to her. And I did also collect the Minecraft Dungeon DLC from Prime Gaming earlier today, and I just jumped in for a quick look at one of those new maps. So yeah, I've been trying anything. I did also play some Far Cry 6 as well. Did manage to squeeze some time into that game again.
I've been today actually. I've been trying out some of the new xCloud games. I've played a little bit of Beacon Pines, which I absolutely love. I was not what I was expecting, and it's a really cute little game. I mean, it's aimed at kids, but it's a really sweet little game and beautifully executed. Great graphics and lovely. Just nice animations and transitions and stuff. Really enjoyed that. Plus, I tried a bit of Slime Rancher, which sneaked on today. That was interesting. What else have I been doing? I've been trying to finish Steel Rising, actually. It keeps on going. I wish it would end. It's a game where you think, just hurry up and end.
I think I'm nice when the game overseas is welcome, but
I reckon I'm about 15 hours in on it.
Do you have a switch off time? Do you have a switch off time when you usually get bored with games?
Yeah, well, if I get this far into it, I try and complete it, and I'm a fair way through it. I'd say I was. Problem is, there's the main campaign, which I think you could probably get through relatively quickly, and then there's a ton of side quests, and I've sort of mixed them all up. So the problem is, having started these side quests, you can't sort of just finish the campaign. I mean, you could, but I feel like I need to do everything. So it's my own fault, but it's quite a repetitive game, really. I mean, you're running around a large maze, essentially, trying to find things. And because I've got it on God mode, nothing can kill me. So I'm just more enemies to kill. But if you have it on anything, if you have it on the normal dev mode, it's so difficult. It's ridiculous. It's like a Souls-like. In fact, I read some reviews on Metacritic that said it is actually a reimagining of a Souls-like. But they're bringing out a free upgrade, which is going to be even tougher than their standard mode. I read the other day, and I thought, well, that's no use to me. Anyway, so I've been playing a bit.
Great for the people who like that sort of challenge.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
yeah.
I'm never going to touch that mode.
No.
So.
No, exactly. I know there are a ton of folk that love all those kind of games for their difficulty, but I'm not one of them. Whoa, aliens have just arrived.
I was thinking 18.
Whoa, getting sucked up.
Prepare the probes.
Sorry about that. The light
These
came
are
on.
the voice of the Mr. Ons.
Yeah.
Bend over.
There's a little grey fella, and he's talking to me through his arse. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. David is in the house. Hello, David. How are you, my friend? Good. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. It's really cute. And well, it's not cute, but it's nice because this is our little channel and our little show, and we do it for the love of gaming, really. So it's always nice when we get a few folk pop in and say hi. So on that note, shall we jump into the news, because we've always got a fair chunk, haven't we? Just happen to have this up on the screen. Look at that. Woohoo! Do we want to be down the side, or do we want to be over the top? How do you guys, what do you think?
I don't know, I prefer side. I think this is a bit too much over the top.
Yeah. Oh, okay, we'll go big side. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Who's going to talk this one through then?
I mean, I spotted this on the PlayStation blog the other day.
Whoa! Sorry about
that. So yeah, apparently I haven't even had time to touch the previous update to Genshin Impact, but now we're getting another one, and after the jungle apparently comes the desert. So we're going to the desert in Genshin Impact.
Yeah, because there was a huge update the other week, wasn't there?
Yeah, the version 3.0 a couple of weeks back, which we also covered on the show. So I mean, it was at least I think it was 2 weeks ago or something. But yeah, was there some nice screenshots there? It looks like, I mean,
it looks gorgeous.
A desert can exploring a desert in the world of Genshin Impact could be very interesting. They do make some really interesting art style choices.
Have you played much of Genshin, guys, or is it not? Have you not got into it yet?
I played until what was it, adventure level 30-ish or something. So I did get to the Japanese inspired lightning area, but I really didn't get far there because I did hit some sort of grinding ceiling where I need to grind a lot more. My characters aren't to that high level as the world is. So I kind of didn't have time or energy to grind and just dropped out at that point. But,
see, I want to play it. I want to really play it, but you see, I know that gaming addiction is a real thing for me. It's the World of Warcraft, and I feel that to keep on being competitive and always trying to be the better, then keep on grinding and always something new will take too much time. That I actually
I mean, what you could do is set yourself a limit of because I mean, if you just play the storyline and ignore all the daily stuff and the gacha mechanics, it's a really great game in that sense. But I mean, you don't go in with the I went in with I'm not gonna 100% anything and just gonna try out the story, see where I end up. Yeah, but then again, I mean, these days you have a lot of other games that call you to your attention, so hopefully you can ignore
it's everywhere though. You can play it everywhere.
I mean I haven't played it on anything except my phone.
Right.
I would just play this on mobile.
I've played it on PC. Actually, I because it's free to play everywhere, isn't it? I did go to play it on PlayStation, but if you don't, there's a really specific way to connect up your account, and if you get it wrong, as I did, you end up with two accounts. You can't have the two working together.
I think that mostly comes down to PlayStation being quite locked down in their.
It's more to do with PlayStation. I just wish that I'd bothered to research it before firing up the game. I thought I could fire it up
I kind of feel like you shouldn't have it to, in my opinion.
It should be easy.
You should be able to do it afterwards and then say, we see you have two accounts there. Which one do you want to keep?
It's Queen Rach, my longest existing member of Team Rokk. How are you?
Hello.
Thanks for joining. If you've not discovered us before, this is our secret channel, our secret show where we do all cloud gaming, not just Stadia. But it's building up a little audience. It's lovely to see so many of you guys. Thank you so much for popping in. Stephen, you really should play it. It's so up your street.
Do you know what? My life goes to crap, and I have to blame you and Bjorn because I'm addicted to gacha.
But you. This is like it's almost like a sort of Breath of the Wilder like, and just really nicely. I mean, you can see the effort they put in.
Yeah, and I mean the gacha mechanics are. I mean, sure they are there, but at the same time, like they aren't that intrusive. To be honest, like I found them to be like quite fair in giving out like just free. I think currently, if you log in over the next couple of weeks regularly, I think I saw some email that they're going to give you essentially enough to like open like several of these loot boxes. You're just going to give that for free for just thank you for logging in after the patch.
They're just putting so much effort into the game, aren't they? You know, they clearly want it to be a massive online game. And like
it already is,
huge patches in next to no time. Look at this; it's amazing. I always remember talking about Stephen saying, you know, or talking about you saying to Stephen how to limit his gameplay. I always remember back when we used to play a lot of Destiny 1, and we had this one guy who must have been relatively young. I never felt he was that young. He sounded like his voice had gone, but he was maybe 16, 17. And every night when we were playing till stupid o'clock, you could hear him going, but mom. And then one day you heard the door, and there's, no, mum. And then he was gone. And about 2 weeks later, I heard from him. Apparently she came in with a pair of scissors and cut his broadband lead. That's how you do it.
One of those short sketches of like parental controls back in the day and versus parental controls now. Now it's basically you just hit the button on my phone like lock phone, whereas back in the day it was like hang up the phone. No, hang up the phone.
My mum's parental controls was if I was still playing consoles upstairs, in a lecky cupboard there's a breaker that stops all the electricity in certain rooms. So she used to just flick the breaker and that was it.
Yeah. That was the end of it. Wow. What? So she would literally turn off the heating, the electric, the fire, the lights.
Just the breaker for that room.
For that. Oh, okay, okay.
Because all the house is based in certain circuits, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, like I mean, back in the day, the parents unplugged the stuff you were playing on. Now it's more like hanging back in the couch like with your
no,
phone.
Mum,
like
I'm on the show with Rokk and Bjorn. I'm not going to bed
now.
Yeah, Mum, no. Oh, mate, what a shame! Look at him. It had to be done, Stephen. So, Stephen, your homework for this week is to play Genshin Impact and come back next week and tell us what you thought. That's what
any service,
Yeah, of your choice, wherever you want to play it. I think it's literally everywhere, but Stadium.
Yeah. I think you can, and I mean, you could try. I recommend maybe using it on GeForce Now because then you can play on your phone as if mobile. We don't have to install anything.
Yeah.
Because they have like Genshin is the only the game except for Fortnite. Genshin is the only game on GeForce Now with like active direct touch input support. So it's like it's exactly the same as a native experience, except I think the resolution is slightly lower because it's like either you get a weird resolution for your screen or you get a like slightly lower resolution than playing Apple. But then again, you don't need to install like 12 gigabytes of stuff on your phone.
Yeah, I must fire it up again. I played it for a couple of weeks. And I didn't stop because of the game, because I think it's actually a superb game. I just simply stopped because I've got so many other things I'm still trying to get through. But I think you'll love it, man. Next up, Dual Universe launches free-to-play trial.
This is a game that I've yet to play, but I've been like I remember seeing the initial announcement years ago. I was like, this looks so cool. Because I think this was before even No Man's Sky was announced, that they announced this game.
Really?
If I remember correctly. And like I've been interested in it. It feels like very much like a more realistic take on like this similar gameplay to No Man's Sky. But way more like science-based and realistic. And I know they do like server sharding, which is quite unique. This unique thing where you have the closer you if the amount of they basically have a different bunch of servers and then they mesh them together into one massive server.
Okay.
So like if you are you can be, maybe the servers can take maybe let's say 50 people, and then there are like 1,000 people in like a different only different servers that are in the same area, but then they all decide to meet up around at the same place, and they will like mesh the servers together into one mega server.
Wow.
For that while they're there, and then they'll split it back up again and like spool down the ones where there are no people in it, for example. So they're doing some really cool stuff that I know, for example, like the Star Citizen devs are also working on. And I mean,
so how do you describe it then?
Yeah.
First-person sci-fi MMO built and driven by players. So, like you say,
very much like
No Man's
No Man's Sky, Star
Yeah.
Citizen, and like EVE Online in some sense, I think, all combined into one. So it looks really cool. I've been meaning to get into it for quite a while, but never really gotten around to it. And they announced, then I saw this email that they're already releasing a free-to-play version, which is essentially the full game, but they will every 2 weeks or so they will reset the servers, so you have to get it start over. But then if you pay for the game, you will then get to play on the non-resetting servers.
So it's No Man's Sky meets Roblox.
Yeah, or like Minecraft.
Minecraft.
So it's like a survival game. To my understanding, it's like pretty much like a survival game.
Yeah.
But also like an MMO. So it's
But
like
graphically, it looks a little dated.
but it's also, I think it's quite small studio, and I think like this it's like there is at least a solar system, if not like a galaxy. Go nuts and explore whatever you want.
So it's kind of co-op-ish. You can
and like the planet you saw in the background, it's like this is a full-sized actual planet, and you can land wherever you want on it.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And I mean, it's built by quite a small studio, if I remember correctly.
Sure.
And they're doing some really cool stuff on the tech side. Graphically, it looks a bit dated, yes, but that's perfectly understandable for this.
What's that new game coming out? Was it EA or Activision or somebody bringing a sort of a No Man's Sky-like game out? I think it was one of the big games on the recent Xbox expose thingy. I've forgotten what it's called.
I forgot what it's called now. But I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember.
I remember reading about EA Motive. Was that the game? Was it from them, or was it?
No, I can't remember what it's called, to be honest. The chat will know. They always do. They're lovely.
Yeah. But yeah, like Your Universe is it's one of the I'm really curious about for a long time, and really got into it. So now that it's free, I mean, and I think also I'm really keen on just jumping in and trying it out at some point quite soon. And
well, if it's free, it's kind of like why?
I mean, sure. I mean, they will wipe the servers every 2 weeks or something. That's perfectly fine if it is to try it out. And once you've tried it out, and if you find you like it, it's not that expensive, if I remember correctly. I think it was like.
I'm just looking now. They don't seem. Yeah, they don't seem.
I think it's because I don't think it's properly like. I think the demo thing is up now, and then you can buy the full thing from their website. But it's not on Steam.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. So
and I think it's one of those cases where like this free-to-play demo version is launching on Steam. But that's not launched for a couple of days. The full original, like the standard game from their own launcher, is available on GeForce Now, but the Steam version is not at this moment.
Gotcha.
So you might have to wait a few days, or maybe longer to properly try it.
So it says planned release date 27th of September.
Yeah.
So
it might be that it's coming soon instead of now.
Yeah. So basically, they're saying, "Here, go have a little free to play because we're bringing it to Steam, Windows based, obviously, on the 27th of September in 4 days' time." So would it be a good idea now, or I mean, are they going to continue the free to play after launch? Or
to my understanding, it's going to be it launching like the free to play launch is going to be permanent. So it's like it's a free trial thing where it's like. We will wipe the servers regularly, but you can play as long as you just want to play the early game, you can play as much as you want. But if you play the early game, really like it, you then buy it and start over on the actual servers.
And it looks like they have events and stuff as well, which is cool. So something a bit like Destiny, I guess, where you've got different seasons and things going on, so you can bring your friends in and do stuff.
I did not know. I can see they're important. It runs on a subscription model, which I didn't know about, which brings it down a little bit for me. I would not be able to play it to get my money's worth out of a subscription, but I mean, it's at least I get to try it out.
Yeah. So if you were to play the full game, which is coming, that's going to be a subscription. But if you're happy to have a game wiped every 2 weeks, doesn't that mean that all your progress is gone, though? I mean,
yes.
It's literally a trial, isn't it?
It's a trial.
Starfield. Don't think it was Starfield, Ray, but it could have been. I'm trying to think, mate. It's not been released yet. Oh, Stephen's doing absolutely nothing. He can go and research it for us.
My brain went straight to when you said EA. I was like, is he talking about bloody Iron Man? Or the confirmed?
No.
I was like, no, he would know Iron Man, wouldn't he? He would know all.
It was a sort of new game like No Man's
Redfall. No.
Hang on, could we fall something? Starfield. Actually, is it Starfield, Ray? Ray, I think you're right. No, Ray is right. It is Starfield. You're absolutely right, my friend. Yeah. He is correct.
That's Bethesda game series.
Yes, he is correct. Let's have a look.
After that, we're finally getting Elder Scrolls 6, but before that,
Bethesda.
It just works. No,
that is actually No Man's Sky. So probably wasn't the video to watch, but yeah, there was it was a big release at the Xbox Expo, and it did, to be fair, look very similar to No Man's Sky. Let me see. Here it is. I thought it would be Starfield. Yes, which it's still in development, so you can't.
I think it's basically No Man's Sky meets Skyrim.
Yes. Did they not? Yeah, of course it's Bethesda, isn't it? I mean, it looks good. I would definitely want to play it. I have a feeling though it could come to Game Pass initially.
Since it's Bethesda and they are now on my Xbox, it's going to be. I think they've already said it's going to be day one on.
Yeah. Game so we should never need to buy it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there you go. I don't know when it's meant to be coming out. Oh, here you go.
Just next year.
Next year. Could be a year away, couldn't it? Or later.
Yeah.
So,
I think early next year, probably.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, my friend.
They'll finally get to keep working, like getting forward with the next Elder Scrolls. That's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
I mean, I think both Oblivion and Skyrim are in my top 10 most played games of all time. So. Elder Scrolls 6, I'm looking forward to. Although I mean, both of those games, like the initial games were okay, pretty good, but it wasn't until they released it. It wasn't until they the modding scene really got into them that the games were really, really good. So I don't know how. I mean, I think the first survival game I ever played was actually Skyrim with mods. So mods to add hunger and
on PC.
And Skyrim with the mod hypothermia, for example, that it just adds a whole new level, because then you get your character will get cold, you can freeze to death.
Right.
So you need to bring heat sources. You need to bring get cloaks, and you need to bring maybe sleeping bag and tents.
What they needed to bring was knee braces. The amount of people that took arrows to the knee. You would think someone with a mod.
There is actually funny story about that. There is actually. There's one guard at one in the game that has a very small chance of triggering a variation of that line, which is, I used to be an adventurer like you, then I got married and settled down.
I'm loving the look of this game, guys. Redfall. This is from Bethesda as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't got a lot of enemies going on here, but he does, or she does, have a customized weapon, which is
and there's a lot of blood.
Yeah, well, Bethesda did Rage, didn't they? Rage 2, which are
as well. Yeah,
I love Rage 2, but this has that vibe, the whole coloured weapons and stuff. There is a lot of blood. I'll give you that much.
Isn't this the vampire hunting game? It's
open world co-op, first-person shooter from Arcane.
The Dishonored.
This looks so good, from the team behind Prey and Dishonored, both fantastic games.
Yeah, and I think it's one team is you face some sort of vampires.
This looks so good. I tell you what, Ray would love this. This is right up Ray's street. Loves a bit of vampire.
My cousin would love this. He's really into vampires.
So this is another one for the same again next year.
Yeah, I think next year will be a big year for gaming. I think this year has been quite slow in a lot of in quite a big sense. There have been every year obviously has a couple of big releases, but I mean next year feels racked up for
massive.
I've always found out the third year is when everything actually gets hyped for the consoles and stuff like that.
Yeah. Thing is, there are so many games coming, but there is no more time. next year than there was this year, or last year for that matter. I mean, we're just going to end up without, with so many great games that we're not going to get to play.
Give up on Genshin and move on to something else.
No, I haven't played it. I only played it for a bit. We're looking for you to get hooked. We're all good.
Yeah. We've played it. We're done with it.
We're done, mate. It's over to you now. You're the Japanese expert. We need your opinion. So, also announced today, I think it was only today, was the Chromecast with Google TV HD, which if you actually go to Google, they have an option here to choose which one you want. The HD in the US is actually cheaper than it is in the UK. I don't know if it's cheaper in Sweden. I know you did put the krona price at 469. I don't know what that is.
That would be around 40. I think like the HD one, like the 4K one in the US costs about the same as the HD one does in Sweden.
Oh, so it's a lot more.
Yeah, and the 4K one costs the same as a Stadia controller.
Ouch, Elliot. Yeah, so it's $30 in the States and £35 in the UK. So it's about €30 and £40.
Hey, don't try and convert it, because sometimes Americans get it cheaper than us. Again, I'm like, wait, there.
Well, the thing that you do have to bear in mind is that when the prices, before tax in the States, whereas in, I don't know if it's the same in Sweden, but in the UK they have to show the tax.
25. Yeah, it's after the
25%.
After the 25% VAT.
Yeah. So so we have to bear that in mind. They go on to the checkout, and then the tax gets added. So it's not like it's 20-25% difference on that basis. However, that's not the point here. The point is that they've launched it, which is interesting. It's a cut price version at 1080p. So the other one is, you see here they call it 4K, but on the box, I'm absolutely convinced it doesn't. It's not. It's just Chromecast with Google TV, and I think that's going to confuse people when they see the actual HD wording next to the box. But anyway, it's 1080 only. It's only in white, whereas the 4K obviously comes with different colors, snow, sunrise, and sky. But also, interestingly enough, the 1080p version, the HD version, comes with Android 12. At the moment, the 4K is running Android 11. And
it must mean the update is very much around the corner for the 4K one, because Google is
exactly, yes. And also the HD one comes with an AV1 codec decoder, which cannot be done with the 4K because it doesn't have the chip. Which makes me think that we'll be seeing an uprated 4K version soon as well.
Yeah, surely.
By Christmas, with the ability to run GeForce Now in 4K and so on.
It came too fast for me to actually have another device. If you say the new chipset's coming from,
I haven't gotten the new ones anyway, because I think the 4K one launched in Sweden just a couple of months ago.
Oh, it came quite late for you, didn't it?
Yeah, like my in-laws, they needed one because their regular Chromecast broke, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't want to pay for like another one of those Chromecasts that only like doesn't have the app support." Now that they knew that there was another one, so I imported one from France for them. So, but interestingly enough,
so you couldn't even. Oh
no. So I had
available now. It wasn't then.
Yeah, so I had to buy one from I think Fnac.com or .fr.
Okay.
But interestingly enough, if you add a Stadia controller to the basket,
it
will with the 4K one, there's obviously the Play and Watch discount. That's not available for the HD one yet.
No, it's
maybe
not.
In the future, but you can't. So, but that means if you want to buy a Stadia controller and a Chromecast, it's actually cheaper to buy the 4K one.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not much, but it's slightly cheaper.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting. I'm not 100% sure why they've done it. I guess it's for those that would like one for a second TV, or maybe a TV for the kids' bedroom.
And I also think it might be one of those where that Play and Watch bundle might come in a couple of weeks. So if you feel like I don't want to get a 4K one, but I do want to have a Stadia controller and I do want to have an HDA one, they like the Play and Watch bundle is slightly too expensive, then just wait a couple of weeks or maybe a month, and you can probably get
Of course, we've also got Stadia coming to a number of TVs. Well, it's already there, but in the fall, in October, we'll get the new uprated TVs with with more powerful chipsets to play the higher quality Stadia and GeForce Now.
But to be honest, so my like 2020 like mid-range, so like a flagship mid-range flagship Philips TV running Android TV can run Stadia in 4K natively.
Yeah,
so it's perfectly fine with. I mean, that one hasn't been updated for 2 years because Philips, like, they make really great image on the image. I love Ambilight. They just don't seem to be able to actually ever update a single single major Android release. This is the second time we get a Philips TV, and both times it's been like, you give it a year and then it's like, oh, it's already behind on software updates. Yay! So I mean, I need to get one of those Chromecast just to essentially do the same thing that my TV already does natively.
Yeah,
it's just they don't update. And I hate it.
Yeah, but if you're going to be paying, I mean, if you're paying twice as much for the HD, or at least 40% more, how much is the 4K for you then?
$769. So about £70.
Is it not cheaper for me to buy it and ship it over to you from
probably
the UK?
Is, yeah, probably is.
Wow. I wonder if it get pulled up at customs or something.
No, maybe now that you've left the EU, but I mean, if someone in Germany is saying to do it, then like
he's dodging the tax, he should be paying.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, but like if so, like I could probably get it. Like it was, I think it was cheaper for me to buy it from France, and that was like 15 pounds in shipping from France. So
wow. Yeah, that's it. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Is that tax, or is that just,
I have no idea, to be honest. I think it's a partly tax, but also like just Google being Google.
Yeah.
Like you still can't buy the Pixel phones here. I had to buy mine from, like, I bought, like, when I bought that Chromecast for my in-laws, I also bought a Pixel for myself. See, I needed a new phone. I was like, I want the Pixel 6. I was like, hey, I have to get it from France and with shipping.
Interestingly, Rouster Adam, he bought the 4K one on Amazon for less, like $10 less than Google was selling it for. But I mean, that's volume purchase discounts and stuff. I did look earlier and I couldn't see the HD on there.
When I go on Hot UK deals and stuff like that, there's people that say if you buy from Italy, Germany, France, sometimes you can actually get it a lot cheaper, depending on how they specialize their deals compared to the UK. But it's finding the golden egg, isn't it?
Yeah. It also used to be
pounds for on Amazon for cable.
Is it? Wow. It also used to be, of course, that your TVs would be all PAL or NTSC and stuff, but all that's kind of been standardized now that it's all streaming in digital, so it's no longer a big issue. And terrestrial. If we stopped doing terrestrial TV some years ago in the UK, they literally switched it off. So it's all digital and stream. So the whole PAL and NTSC and I think French had CCAM. I think all that's kind of gone now. It's old school TV. So you can buy these and buy one in the States and take it home, and it technically should still work.
I don't think there will be any problems doing that. I remember seeing, like, a lot of people when the Google first launched the Pixel lines. I was quite active on like an Android forums here in Sweden, the Swedish Android forums, and there were a lot of people who were like, "I'm like, anyone going to the US anytime soon?" And they were like, I'm going in, and people came home with like 10 Pixel phones, like, distributed.
Wow!
But with different type of people. When people go abroad, we're like, "Don't forget to get our whiskey and cigarettes, please."
And these people are like, "Buy me a phone."
Yeah, and again, Rooster's making a good point. That was the thing I struggled with my 4K, was the amount of storage. It's poultry. And I'm not talking chickens here.
That's one of the reasons I'm more eyeing a Shield than Chromecast. And I mean, at that point,
I just had a few streaming apps on mine, and it ran out of space. It's not like I had games or anything on it. So
I know I'm gonna want to set up like a Kodi setup and maybe add some emulators to it. And then at that point, I might as well Because I mean, I want to have like I know there's a Kodi add-on for your emulators where you can have like a really gorgeous like just wall of game covers, and you can just pick the game you want. And you have like a external hard drive with all the ROMs on. I have a dream of one day doing that and never playing any of them.
These days, I don't go for extra storage. I go for the lowest base now because I'm totally happy with my CCU. I'm totally happy with my shields. It's all for streaming.
Well, that's the thing. If you're happy with it, there's no need to upgrade, is there? If it does exactly what you want. Talking of 1080p, so this was officially launched yesterday. Although I think we've covered it in the past. We've certainly, I've covered it on one of my shows.
And there's been rumors about it that we talked about before.
Yeah, well, because I think what we were interested in was the whole 10-cent thing. Interesting reception. And I know my initial thought, which was echoed by a lot of other folk, was, okay, it's $350 from Amazon, technically $300 if you pre-order it from Logitech. You're then in the same price bracket as an xCloud Series S. You're not far off of a Steam Deck, sorry. So, where do they think their market is, guys? It's a 12-hour battery life. That's cool. But then there's hardly a lot going on inside it, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's 12-hour battery if you aim for 50%, which I am not a 50% brightness person.
Me too. I'm 100%.
Same here.
Yeah, so in the end, that's going to halve.
At least when I'm playing games, I want to have proper...
Yeah, I'm the same. I can't be doing dark screens. I mean, it comes with GeForce Now and Xbox Cloud Gaming. Let's just call it xCloud. Pre-installed,
but then you can.
But it's Android.
That's just installing the app. So I mean,
you go to the Play Store and install Stadia. You've gone. It's not difficult, is it?
I mean. All I can say really is I get that some people want a dedicated device, and that's perfectly fine. I don't, I mean, if someone gave it to me, I wouldn't say no, but I'm not going to go out and buy one. So I this is more than enough for me.
I've been reading chat and on people's YouTube that's actually got them and doing the first impression, and a lot of people have said it was the $200 mark ish. They would have done it. That's like Rokk said, it's too close to the S and the Steam Deck to justify $350. It's just...
Well, even then, Stephen, it's not that hard. I mean, Bjorn's done it this week. This man has love in his eyes for his new Kishi. Look at it. Look, he's absolutely adoring this little thing. He's got his phone going on in there. He can play any cloud gaming system that he wants to.
Yeah, and I used to have the, I also have the V1 of the Kishi, although my son snags that all the time, so I rarely see it anymore. But I mean, like the difference, and I mean, since the Pixel 6 that I have, it has like this camera bump on the back, like the difference in comfort on this one, like how stable it is, because the new one has it's like solid plastic here, whereas the old one was quite fibbly, and I mean.
I think this one has padded corners down the bottom. It doesn't really show up too well in the video, but I was looking at some stills earlier.
Yeah, I saw.
And there's like a stitching to the bottom, so there's like a padded handle, which is quite nice. Because I'm not a massive fan.
There's a quite nice handle on the Kishi V2 as well. So I mean,
right,
it's not quite as prolific as on that one, but it's.
I don't know. There's a number of. I mean, to be fair,
I didn't like the idea it's got no 5G. I didn't like the idea it's got no video out. Through USB-C.
Yeah,
like I was like, all them would help me.
Yeah. It does have a microphone. So, and as you know, Logitech own Streamlabs, so I would expect to be able to do some kind of
Rokk on his
streaming.
Stephen, I'm testing.
Are you there, Stephen? No, I don't do mobile, even tablets. I just don't. They just don't work for me. So, I have played with a little claw and a controller, and I've got that, and I've taken those away. But when I've gone away, I've never found a decent enough signal to be able to play anyway.
I haven't had any problem with a signal, except when I'm on my commute train.
Yeah,
the office, which I rarely do, to be honest. But on there, there's some areas there's like basically total radio shadow, and it's always been like that. So like not not even YouTube or like messages won't even come in during those periods of the trip. So like that's always been fine. But like for a lunch break, it's perfect. I love having the Kishi with me for like, I mean, it's a lunch break. No one to talk to because everyone happened to take
hates
different
you.
times. It just that too. But then you sit back, you eat your lunch for 5 minutes, and then you play games for 5 minutes. Great.
Bjorn's like, why don't they understand I love Genshin? Why won't they play with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but sometimes you take lunch at different time slots. It's the way it is.
Yeah. I just don't understand what they're trying to achieve with it. That's all I'm saying. Because for me, it's firstly, cloud gaming is still embryonic, and to shift enough of these units, how many people that are likely to buy have even tried cloud gaming? If it's going to be bought by somebody as an alternative to a Switch, whoever they're going to give it to is probably going to be disappointed.
Well, I watched some videos with first impressions, and the guy's like, welcome to cloud gaming. I've got 1 gig down, and this should run flawless. And here's me playing GeForce now, and as you can see, it doesn't run flawless. And I was like, no, we've all got great experience on some YouTube impressions.
Recently?
Yeah, because they've got like hands on, and I was like, my GeForce now doesn't run like that. But I don't start my going, I've got a gig down and in the proper circle. Blah blah.
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't have a gig down right now. So I mean, it's never been about the speed. People always think it's about it. It's just about the stability. If you have a bad network connection, if you like, I had a bunch of issues for like a month before I realized, this Ethernet cable from the modem to the router, that's faulty. I just need to replace that. It's like £5 to replace it with a new one.
Yeah, and a lot of it as well depends on the hardware. I've got a Chromebook, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite devices, but actually it's not brilliant for streaming cloud games because it just can't handle the refresh rate.
We know Logitech and Tencent are big fans of this show, so free please. We'll test out for next week. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to send me one, I'll happily use it and review it for them. But I mean, I'm not going to have to buy one because I'm not that desperate for a dedicated device.
If it was this versus Steam Cloud, Steam Deck, pardon, and there were no other options, so you couldn't use your phone and stuff, then it would be a much easier decision. But even then, personally, I think they should have pushed it out at about $250 with, say, 6 months free GeForce Now. Or
for that, it would like at that price point it would be a completely different story. Because as it stands now, it's like either that or the like if you ignore the quiche solutions, like either that or the Steam Deck, and the Steam Deck has the benefit of like obviously it's running like I'm pretty sure there's like you can run a lot more games locally, and it wouldn't surprise me that either you can already or it's going to come in the future, and like support for Android apps on Linux. I mean, it's running Linux. So
you could install Moonlight on any device anyway and stream your PC
and you can do that. I mean, especially like because I mean, to me, it sounds like it's like cloud. You can do on both of them.
Yeah.
One is more expensive, slightly better build quality. I'm guessing the Steam Deck has with the touchpad, for example. But at the same time, so it's like they're quite identical in that sense. The other one is more powerful, can play more games locally. The other one can play Android games locally and instead of like Steam games. But it wouldn't surprise me that before long you can probably get Android games running on the Steam Deck as well. It wouldn't like the community for the developing community can probably solve that quite quickly. I mean, there is like Android basically it's running Linux anyway. That's just the Steam OS. You can on the Chrome OS, you can install Android apps. On the Windows 11, you can install Android apps. Like I'm running Windows 11 on my old Surface 4. That can run the Android games with basically no issues. So like, what's stopping Valve from like we know Valve and Google are in talks about something. What's stopping them from saying, you can now install Chrome like Google Play on your Steam Deck?
And ultimately, if you're buying this because someone is a casual gamer, or for a young person, say you were buying it for somebody as a gift at Christmas for a kid, well, GeForce Now is probably not going to be very useful to them unless they've got a Steam library of games. So forget that. So then they need to play xCloud, but to play that, they're going to need Game Pass. Game Pass Ultimate, in fact, I think, if you want the cloud.
Yeah.
So if you haven't subscribed to that, forget that. So the only one that you could go live with is
Fortnite free on GeForce Now.
Yeah, Fortnite is
there's
free
some
on
free to play.
That's the only one.
There's some free to play stuff on there.
Yeah, there might be
Genshin's on there for free to play, for example.
Yeah, on GeForce, yeah. But only cloud. But on GeForce is still, even Genshin and Fortnite would be with the, like, you still have the queuing and the 1 hour limit.
It has got a brighter screen than the Steam Deck, but only by 50 nits. So it's not going to really notice that. No,
I've
slightly higher resolution, but like, I mean, sure, it's high resolution, but at that screen size, you don't really notice
it's
that
irrelevant.
much.
Yeah, it's irrelevant. Yeah. There is HDMI. Oh, I think there's HDMI. Did you say there wasn't, Stephen, HDMI out?
Video out. USB-C.
Okay. Yeah, I was getting confused with the Odin Lite, which does have.
The Odin Lite is like, between the Steam Deck, the Logic G Cloud, and the Odin Lite, I would probably go Odin Lite. Like Steam Deck is the Steam Deck is. I mean, it is an intriguing device because sure, partly due to the fact that you can install local games on it from Steam. But for me, it's most like 90% about those trackpads. Like, because I know the Steam controller had really interesting, really good touch haptic trackpads. Yeah. So I'm thinking like, oh, could I with that play like mouse games like the Solaris or
of course the other thing that may be a deciding factor is that you've still got to wait for your Steam Deck to be built, whereas you could probably order a Logitech Cloud G today and have it delivered on as soon as they're ready. There is, and coming up to Christmas, I don't know whether they've got their supply chain sorted or not. Obviously, they're building them to order. It's one way to avoid cost, but it also means that they're not saving on economies of scale because they're not building thousands
that's a
of
big
these.
One. That's a big one. In like when it comes to manufacturing, economies of scale is what's really brings something from a prototype into mass market. Like, right. You can't, if you can't build like. I think you can probably, if you go from the Steam Deck, what is it now? For third, like the 349 pounds. Like if they had economies of scale, you could easily get it for like 240.
Yeah, you could be looking at quite a huge discount, but they've chosen to build them to order, so they don't have any of that going on.
Yeah, and might be several reasons for that, but I mean, the chip shortage is one point, but also like maybe they don't want to take the risk because they know it's a niche product.
Go on, Stephen.
When you skimmed over that article, did you see any mention of Wi-Fi 6? Because if I was actually going to buy a Steam, something to stream games over as like this quality, I would actually want the latest standard now going forward.
Yeah,
to utilize.
Somebody else said similarly earlier, and I don't think it's been mentioned.
But I mean, the Wi-Fi standard is one thing. The more important thing is how good is the Wi-Fi chip in it. Like the Switch has a really bad, like the OG Switch that we have has a really bad Wi-Fi chip.
Yeah, I mean that's an advantage of the Steam Deck. You can literally install games and play them where there is no Wi-Fi needed. Whereas that's not going to be the case here.
Yeah, but I mean, for that you won't probably want the like the most expensive one, and then at that point you're in Switch territory, and then you have to make a choice, especially for someone who don't have a big library of PC games already.
Yeah,
I cannot make that choice.
Yeah, no, I agree. So that is. Yeah, that's the thing that I'm baffled by, because I'm usually pretty good at working out where they're aiming their market, and I'm not fully on board with where these guys are going. I mean, I suppose, obviously, if you're Valve, then you've already got your Steam library, and I think it's just a step before Steam anyway look to roll out their own cloud platform, and these guys are trying to be on the edge and be.
I hope with them saying like, oh, it's got YouTube and Netflix, and not trying to cater to the kids that sort of hog up the parents' devices for the 7-inch screen, because you can buy a tablet for 7-inch, maybe from the Fire range or whatever range, for $100. So
yeah. But the thing is I can absolutely see if it was an impulse buy or if it was priced at the kind of price. It's interesting. My eldest wants a Switch for Christmas. She's asked for it, so it's no great surprise if she's watching the video. But I was saying to my wife earlier, do you, I said, do you know that she wants a Switch? She goes, yeah. I said, you do know they're about 300 quid. She went, oh, I thought they were about 150. Now, what I thought was interesting was that's a consumer brain working. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think this thing is worth? Not what is it worth? Not what is its price? So in order for my wife, who is non-technical, and if someone said to her, could you get me a gaming handheld? Right. And she would pick up the £150 Logitech Cloud G and think, oh, it's got hundreds of games. Look, it does Netflix, it does this.
Oh, she'll read off the box and she'll go, oh,
yeah. And it's 150. Instead, though, it's not, it's there at 300 or 350. And that suddenly puts it in the realm of Switch and Series S, even the PS5 if you can get them. I paid $350 for mine. It would
be interesting to put the Steam Deck, the cheapest Steam Deck, the base model for the Switch Lite and the Logitech and the Odin. Put them next to each other and say all right, pick out one for our daughter.
Yeah.
And see which one she would take based on.
So Bjorn, you mentioned before.
I'm thinking it would be the same.
Because they all do the same thing. You're going to go for price, aren't you? You're going to go for price. And if this is aimed at a Christmas market, right, I didn't even realize that you can get a cheap Steam Deck for the same price as the Logitech Cloud G is at $350, because that's how much its retail price is. And I would be happy on that one because I would only be wanting to play GeForce Now games on there. So I don't care about the fast SSD because I wouldn't be bothered to install games. So I'd be happy to go for that one. And now I'm right up against the Logitech in price and thinking, technically, which is going to give me the more superior gaming experience.
So Bjorn, with side loading, say you mentioned the Shield before, you mentioned Kodi and stuff like that. If Kodi that worked on the Logitech and it became more of a streaming device with all different
it does work out. It's run Android. It works out of the box.
So wouldn't that consider you more? I know it's targeted at gaming, but if it actually offered more...
I mean, at that point, I don't know. I think I would maybe prefer a tablet anyway. Like if it's mainly for streaming, but then again, I mean, it's like having just using your phone with a control you can pop on and off. It's way more intriguing to me because I mean, because I can run all the Kodi stuff and the streaming stuff. I can do utility stuff. I can do work stuff on it. I can do have join meetings on it. So it's a lot more useful. And I'm gonna have a phone anyway. So yeah, to me it's a hard sell, but that's just me. I prefer to not have a dedicated devices for gaming unless I have to. But when looking at the different options available, the Odin is the most intriguing one to me because it's the one that, because of the price, really, it's cheaper than the others. The Odin is the cheapest, therefore the most interesting. The Steam Deck can run PC games natively, so I'm like, if it's a nice experience to play it's large review for the Paradox Grand Strategy games with that, maybe I would play them more, and I do love them, and then play them not rarely as much as I like. So yeah, it's a hard one.
So here's some specs. So we've got 7-inch multi-touch with 60 hertz. So it's so you're going to play 1080 at 60. Good. Android 11, Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G. That's quite old, isn't it now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's 2 years old.
It's like a 2-year-old chipset.
I mean, it's not a bad chipset. It's a high performing one, but it's
medium level.
2.3
gigahertz.
What's 4 gig of RAM? That's not
4 gig of RAM.
I'm not sold on that. That should be 8 at least.
Yeah, I mean the storage isn't bad. 64 gig. It's also got micro XD expandable storage.
Yeah, but still, but Android.
But don't forget, there's no install games. There's no install games. So you're literally storing 30 seconds of video at any one time.
Can't you install games on it? It's only Android. I'm assuming it has Google Play.
Yeah,
it has Google Play, so then you can.
Well, I don't know. They're selling it as a cloud gaming handheld.
Yeah, but I mean,
I assumed you can install Play Store.
Okay.
Yeah, it says it has Google Play, so you can install it, which means 64 gigs is on the low side.
Okay, fair point.
I mean, my phone has 128, and like 90% of it is games, and it's already full. So
also, it's not OLED. If it was, it would be screaming the fact. So it's not going to be as good as your Switch. It's got haptics, 3D gyroscope. What use is that? I can't think of one single game. Maybe
I would have happily took the gyroscope out and put a better screen.
Yeah.
There is I found one game on 2 games I think on Game Pass so far with gyro support.
Because if you walk downstairs and you're seeing your kid going oh with the £350 device, you'd be like, put that.
Winstar makes a good point as well. This whole battery thing is. It really is so subjective, isn't it? It depends on what you're doing with the darn thing, the brightness of the screen.
6 hours, it's like 12 hours is like, I'm never gonna have a 12 hours.
No, but you can only play GeForce Now in one block of 8 hours if you've got the top tier.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, I'm gonna play for like maybe 1 or 2, or like let's say I do 3 hours.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm gonna and even if I'm on a trip, I'm gonna find an opportunity to charge it in between those 12 hours or before up, or like 6 hours are up. So like
pre-installed with Google Play, Xbox Cloud Gaming, NVIDIA GeForce Now, Xbox, and Steam Link, which means what? That you can
stream your games from your PC if you're on the same
from your PC. So same as Moonlight.
Moonlight. Steam Link is the official Moonlight.
Is it a fork of Moonlight? Is it the same base code?
Don't know.
No, I have tried it, but I found it limited to 1080p, whereas Moonlight would let me stream 4K 60 from the PC to my TV quite happily. It's fairly light. 1.02 pounds. I think it's 400 and something grams, wasn't it?
So Moonlight can stream your entire PC, whereas Steam Link only streams the game from Steam.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I have done. Yeah. It's actually pretty cool, Moonlight. That $349 price tag is on the steep side, making this device cost as much as a Switch OLED, and only about $50 less than the lowest priced Valve Steam Deck. Well, we know, of course, that was £350. So Nintendo and Valve both take cuts from the games purchased on their system. Well, that's fair. What Nintendo games are going to be on there then?
On the Switch, or
no? I'm assuming they're talking about this game, this device.
There won't be any Nintendo. Yes, I think it's just a reason why it's cheaper. I think.
Are they talking about the Switch there then? Because Valve both says here, Nintendo and Valve both take cuts from the games purchased on their systems. Right. Okay. Yeah. So what they're saying is their systems are subsidized because they're making money from selling Switch games or PC games in the case of the Steam Deck. But I don't see.
But I mean, compare this to the Odin, not even the Odin Lite, because I mean that's even cheaper. Like the regular Odin. I mean, it's just because I mean the regular Odin is $239 right now.
Right.
The base one. And that has, let's see here, the specs. That's a Snapdragon 845, which is better than the Logitech one.
Right.
It has 4 gigs of RAM. The Pro model has 8 gigs of RAM, but it's like the Pro model costs the Pro model costs 287, so slightly below.
The Odin was a
the Odin Pro is but like, it's available to purchase right now. The Odin Pro is a better option in every sense of the way, in every sense, I think.
Yeah, and it's only going to cost you 3.5 million as well. So I mean, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Hong Kong dollars. No, that's the money they raised. This was obviously their launch thing.
Yeah. So like if you go into aYntech.com,
AYN
find their official webshop. It's not a great web shop, though. I mean, the specs are in an image, but still.
Oh, no, that doesn't exist. Hugedomains.com. Do you want to give it to me again?
Not AYNTEC.com. Oh, yeah, the same except the H on the end. There you go. And then click Odin. And then, like, also funny thing, the Loki's there is, and then you click the regular Odin, and then you can go to. The Loki is the same thing as the Odin, except for it's running Windows.
Okay, let's have a look at their UK prices. So although they are dollar signs, they're saying that they're saying it's still pounds.
Yeah.
So the Odin.
Click the Odin. Click the regular Odin. That's because that's the like if you go that one and then click Pro, you'll see the price of the premium. Pro on the top there.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
So that's the price of their premium model.
And then you can have 256 gig.
Yeah, but if you ignore storage, I think it's still 100 and I think it's 128 gigs of storage. If you now scroll down to the very bottom, you have an image with specs. I mean, this thing is basically the same thing as the Logitech, but it's like if you look at the specs, it even outshines it in terms of specs. It has 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, a better processor, the same size of the screen. It's a different ratio. It's a 10:9 instead of a 16:10. So meaning slightly lower PPI, but still HDMI plus DisplayPort output.
Wow.
Good Wi-Fi chip, Bluetooth 5.0, and 6,600 milliamp hour battery, which is probably enough for, I don't know, let's say 6 to 10, like 10 hours of gaming, maybe. Like this one is like, if you're looking for something like this, go with this. Go the Pro model of the Odin, or if you want to get away cheaper, get with the Lite model. This is essentially the same as half the price.
And they don't do an OLED version, presumably.
No, but the the Odin Lite, it's less than $200.
The Neo Air does an OLED screen, but like I said, it sort of goes higher in price.
So yeah.
What does
the Odin Lite is
the AO Neo Air?
AO Neo.
So that's one that's supposed to rival the Odin and Neo and stuff like that. So it's two competitive factors.
Neo Air. Neo Air.
And that has OLED, but I think that's more expensive.
Oh, wow, yes, this is very much expensive.
So this is another one that was a Kickstarter kind of thing.
Yeah, way higher price, but I mean, now you're talking, this is an Intel...
Well, I feel like a lot of people are leading to the Steam Deck because they can trust Valve more with the idea of how they're optimizing and they're sort of optimizing to low power usage but better performance, where these are just going raw in with specs.
Yeah, but I mean the Ioneo is running Windows, so already it's going to be obviously that's going to be a very different experience than running anything else. But I mean, so if you're looking for just something for cloud, the Odin Lite is essentially the same thing as the Logitech one. But if you want more of a play local games, then obviously you have the Steam Deck, you have the Ioneo, you have the Loki from Aon. It's also running. It has an AMD Zen 3 Plus CPU.
What I want is a fast charger with long battery life, OLED screen, and a micro SD with video out, and that would sell me on a cloud handheld.
I still can't get over just using my phone in my head. I just can't. This is great, but this is $700 for this thing. $350. Sorry, £350, $399 for the basic Steam Deck, and $350 for the Logitech. And yet, right here beside me is a little Samsung, which will. If I got, it's an S10, so it's getting on a bit now. But if I was to buy an S22 or one of the newer Samsungs, I'd be getting 120 hertz. I'd be getting 4K on an OLED. I mean, I just don't get why.
It's one of those where you have to make a choice. Like, do I want a dedicated device for cloud for gaming on like mobile gaming? Sure, you can get one of those. At that point, I think you have like mainly three proper options. You have the Steam Deck, obviously, if you want to have like your Steam library mainly and play locally.
Yeah.
With obviously cloud support as well. You have the Switch OLED if you want to play Nintendo games, or you have if you don't, it's like I just want cloud and some mobile games, then go Odin.
Well, this is why they should have offered the cellular model for the sort of Logitech.
Yeah, that's such a
why don't they?
If it was played, I can sort of have WhatsApp or Skype. I can have stuff that uses text data, and then I can all of just done put my monthly SIM card in, and off I go. And it would have been.
You guys remember the Xperia Play?
Yes, I used to have that. I used to love that device.
Such a great idea. I can't believe it didn't take off more.
Well,
I mean, I think it was obviously a first generation. I mean, I worked in phone stores at this point when that released, and it was like people saw that was like, this is really cool, but it's like it felt quite cheap because it was. I mean, it was very early days of smartphones.
It wasn't the cheapness that got me. What got me is I remember being blown away, and there was some games that was, I think Crash Bandicoot was supported, and
original,
and then I remember sitting there going, "Wow, PlayStation's gonna go into mobile just before their cloud way," and I remember they cut it straight away, and I'm like, I can't believe I've just bought this device for thinking it was a Sony PlayStation phone. And Sony never believed in it, and then they just cut the store. And I remember just using it as an emulating device, and it ran perfect as an emulation device. But that was got me in the mindset of where mobile and cloud was going, and Sony never believed as much.
Who would want to pay $1,565 for a handheld?
I mean, that's essentially, looking at the specs there, that's essentially a Stadia Blade in a handheld. Local. Isn't it? Like, is it the Vega GPU? Is it that?
Well, if you want to go half Rokk, you keep it for one half the year now.
Yeah, you could have it for Christmas. Yeah, fair point. Anyway, that's all very interesting. I think we should move on to the cloud gaming news.
Let's do that.
Let's do it. So, of course, it's GFN Thursday, which is always ironic. It seems to be every Thursday when we do our show.
Weird how that happens.
I know, isn't it? Just amazing.
Almost like someone planned it.
Yeah. Crow says, I think mobile data works a lot differently in the US than elsewhere. A mobile service with these devices would be great, but it would be too expensive in the US. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
having said that, Crow, I mean, we have data limits in the UK as well, and I'm sure they do in most of Europe where mobile is concerned. But obviously what the US still have that we don't have is the same data cap on domestic broadband, which is
although, I mean, you
for
can
us.
get I know you can get a lot of unlimited data in a lot of places. I remember seeing, like, it's quite common to see, like, I have unlimited data, but then it's throttled after a certain amount, which means, like, then it's not unlimited data, first of all.
Yeah.
I mean,
little astrics, don't they?
Unlimited.
I mean,
I have completely unlimited data on all our family mobile connections. There is technically a throttling after 20 gigs per day, but it's not like a hard throttle. It's just like we throttle it in case it's something happened that you don't know about.
Yeah.
And then it's like and then it takes, like, you've now reached the 20 gigs per day. If this is intentional, and you want and need more data, just text this code for 5 more gigs for free.
What I
you can just do that as many times as you want.
Is I've bought a 5G SIM that says unlimited, and then when I've installed and run a speed test, it's up to 2 megabits per second, and I'm like, no, I needed a lot more than that. But then if I wanted something with higher speeds, it was an extra tier that was still labeled unlimited. So you have to say to the people,
oh, that's bullshit.
What speed of 5G you're offering me in this range of price?
Really?
You
see, I've never experienced 5G. I've never had it on my iPhone, and I don't have it on this one. So,
and they're building it quite nicely here in Stockholm. It's getting, I mean, used to be like a year ago when I was in town, I can only get 5G in, like, certain spots in the middle of town. Now it's pretty much all over central Stockholm.
Oh wow.
So,
anyway, NVIDIA GFN Thursday. We've actually got some interesting news on top of gaming, which is cool. First up, of course, they were out there in force with the Logitech guys promoting the fact that they are a verified service, pre-installed, etc. So there's a bit of that going on in there. Plus, interestingly, they are giving away Portal with RTX in November free. So if you have always owned Portal, which ironically I do
as well.
I've had that for years. I bought I think Portal was one of those among the first game in the 100 games released on Steam. Period.
Was it?
I remember. I think so. I remember buying it. Like I was still in
I've got it on
school
Steam
when I bought it.
Yeah,
I've had it for over 10 years.
Such a good game. Well, all three of us are going to get to experience it with full RTX, and it does.
You bet I will.
I'll play it again. Portals everywhere going.
Ooh, hang on, that was quick. Let's try again. Yeah, it looks stunning in with ray tracing. It's a gorgeous game.
Play it again with.
Wasn't it a Valve game in the first place?
Yeah, it's a Valve original. Yeah, I think it was like a small student project that they were like, hey guys, you want to come and work at Valve and build this proper? And then they did number 2, and after that there's been nothing.
It's just it's a shame because it's such a great concept as well.
Yeah, I would definitely play with Portals more. Yeah,
I know. I've played it a couple of times. I think I definitely play it again.
Yeah, my kids are actually playing it every now and then these days. Like at one point, I showed it to them like, and I was like, I mean, this is quite kid friendly. You can play this. It's just puzzles. Yeah. It's not easy. I mean, for them
takes
to
lateral thinking.
Yeah, but I mean, I think my son got once I've taught him how to think. Like I helped him through the first couple of levels, and then he played like 10 levels on his own. I think he's at level 14 out of 17 at this point.
Wow.
He doesn't play it a lot, and whenever he plays it, he usually he wants me to sit right next to him, so I can't really do put him in front of it and go and do something else. That's when he plays Minecraft. But I mean, it's and both kids think it's really fun, and it's a great brain exercise to do.
Whoops, where'd that come from? You can also bank on this. They've got a new update. Oh, that's weird, isn't it? That pops up every time you highlight text. An updated GeForce Now on PC and Mac for those of you with 16:10 ratio monitors. I think it's predominantly MacBooks in the main, but that will now go out 4K 60, which is excellent. And of course, the 3080 tier will show that off to T. So the games, we get down to the games. Oh, I can't wait for this to come out. Requiem. Yeah. I loved Plague Tale. But it's coming out October 18th, so a couple of weeks' time.
Enhanced with ray tracing?
With ray tracing, yeah, that's going to look stunning. Warhammer, there's a whole bunch of them. But what we'll do is, as we always do...
the Total War Warhammer as well.
Yeah, this is right up your street, isn't it? Because, of course, this wasn't it originally a Dungeons & Dragons game, Warhammer, with the board and the pieces and things and...
Yeah, it's like one of those you glue together your miniatures and you paint them however you want, and then you play like a war game with it on a massive board. I've played it once or twice. I did have a small collection of Warhammer the fantasy edition of the Dwarf team, and then I eventually was like, I never used these. They just take up space, so I sold them. Quite for very cheap, and I realized later that one of them was an unopened box and I mean they do new releases with new styles. So I mean the packs that I had you can't buy in stores anymore. So there was a collector's value to that. So I could probably have gotten 10 times as much as I sold them for easily just for that package alone. And I sold all of them for them.
Yeah,
so, one of the worst.
That'll learn you.
We had a big, huge store called Games Workshop, which actually sold all these.
Yeah, they are the makers of it. They're the creators of the brand.
I actually got one, and I remember my friend was raving about it, and he thought it was very therapeutic to paint. And I remember when I tried
a lot of people like it.
I never had the patience to sort of these little diddy things. So I just
moved
on to something else.
This looks like a game up your street, actually, Stephen. There's Japanese stuff going on. Right. Dive into a world that mixes sci-fi and ancient tradition. Slash through robots with a trusty katana. Use high-tech implants to navigate the surroundings.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Metal Gear Vengeance style.
Yeah, look at this.
It's cool. It's one of those I can see the reviews as mixed reviews, but at the same time it's only 49 reviews. So obviously it's an indie title, but
and it's only been out
49 reviews. So
7 a
that
week.
doesn't say
no.
don't like this. The fact that it says mixed doesn't say very much because it's so
Not
recent
without
and
amount.
such new reviews.
Yeah.
So,
and again, it's 19. Well, and again, what I meant by and again was it's very affordable, £19.50.
yeah.
So a good price, which is awesome. That looks good. Construction Simulator. I'm so interested in this game. I come from a background, all my family were in the building trade, so this is kind of a game that's quite close to my heart.
This is something that will. Let's go ahead.
Rokk, did you ever try and when you were younger move away from the industry and now you're just coming back to a full circle?
I know, it's funny, isn't it? Honestly, my dad, when I was a kid, my dad would buy a building site, a plot of land, and we'd live in a caravan for a year while he built 2 houses. And then we'd live in one for a year to avoid paying tax. Then he'd go and buy another plot of land and do the whole thing again. And all my mum, my dad has 10 brothers and sisters, as does my mum, by the way. All of them do something in the building trade. So I've been surrounded by it my entire life.
You're the black sheep of the family, then.
Yeah, I did nothing to do with it. Neither did my brother, mind you, either. I mean, it's quite odd, really.
I would love to see if it comes instinctively. It's in his genes. When he plays this game, he's just a master. He's a master crafter.
I genuinely, yeah, honestly, I would love to sit down with my dad and play this. I reckon he'd love it.
Do it on a stream as well. I want to see that.
Oh, bless.
But I mean, this feels like one of those games that will sell really well in Germany.
Right.
Germans do love their simulation games.
Do they?
And I mean, if you look at the developer, Weltenbauer Software. Yeah, I remember reading an article like 15 years ago in one of the gaming magazines about how someone had taken a trip to Germany and then bought every single simulation game you could find and then played them for a bunch of hours each, and then wrote an article about how I played all the weird simulation games you didn't even know existed, and this is how it was. I think he specifically mentioned the firefighter simulator was toxic waste simulator. So the personality just we have some toxic waste here. I'm gonna stand here and clean it in hazmat suits in first person. That was the game.
Isn't it funny? How different cultures are into different games.
I think that had sold just in Germany alone 50,000 copies, which for such a niche thing like that is
that simulators do not do it for me. It's one genre that it doesn't do it for me. Maybe I played a space simulator, but every time I speak to people, they're in awe of it.
Massively.
Yeah, I love the way they speak about it. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad you really like that genre.
Do you know there's esports in Farming Simulator?
What?
Yes, there's an Farming Simulator esports scene. And it's glorious. I've seen this clips from the finals.
Is it called eSpuds?
No, unfortunately, missed opportunity. But no, I recommend looking that up because they have the commentators that are just as hyping things up, just as in a MOBA or something, or CS:GO tournaments. But there's I think there were on DreamHack there was a world championship where with prize money and everything. I mean, it were things like in 10 minutes, you're in 2 teams, stack as many bales of hay in the barn as you can, go. And it was so interesting to watch. Not the game itself, but the whole
the competition
of it all. Yeah.
So is this Solstice? Is this a sort of a Souls-like game, or is it just happen to have the word soul in the title?
I mean, it really looks like one.
It does, because of the whole kind of
art
hack
style.
and slash. Yeah.
Gameplay. I mean, surely it must be one of those.
It just says vicious enemies, spectacular boss fights, which kind of fall into that genre, don't they? I must admit, I've tried them. I have tried and tried and tried to get into them, Sekiro and all that stuff. It just doesn't work for me. I don't like a game that I genuinely have to fight against. I like a game that I explore and discover and get rewarded for finding things and stuff.
It looks very much like a mix between
You sorry, Nate, we lost you on that. It went all crickly crackly.
I think it looks very much like a mix between Devil May Cry and a Souls-like.
Yes, I think that's a good analogy. Anyway, it's quite a pricey one, 35 quid in the whole wide world of Steam in any case. So, but it does have mostly positive out of just under 200, which is pretty cool. It's only literally gone live in the last 2 days, so actually that's not a bad response in 2 days.
So anyone basically anyone who likes Souls-likes or who likes Devil May Cry might want to take a look.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Devil May Cry, but Souls games these days are too punishing for me.
They are, I'm the same. They've gone way over the top now.
And I would play them, even though they've dropped the easier setting. I would actually play it more, but
this has piqued his interest.
Turn-based strategy game with RPG elements.
Ooh.
A detailed fantasy world, lead the Order of the Griffin, recruit and enhance your fighter control of Flying Island, search for artifacts, and learn the secrets of the ancients. I'm down. This looks great.
In? Well, it's only £15, so it's another reasonably priced game. It's only been out a week, and it's
right now.
Yeah, he's gone for it. There you go.
I'm not going to buy it and play it for any time soon, but I'm going to wish list.
Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? This is the thing. But
the Steam stars here.
There's somebody there playing it live, which is pretty cool. And I could absolutely see you playing this one this weekend, Bjorn. I think it's definitely a game for you, that one. Potion Permit. This one is out today, so it's only just gone live. And it's had very positive feedback on this one. Moonbury's residents need healing, Stephen, and you're the best chemist around. You are Mr. Boots.
Yes,
with your trusty tools, a brewing cauldron, and a canine companion at your side. You know what? It's interesting what impact the Switch has had on general gaming.
Yeah.
Because this is very much a Switch-like looking game from my very limited experience, but they get huge reception. People love to have that sort of Switch feel in their games these days on PC as well.
It's available on the Switch.
And it's available on the Switch, of course it is. Very 8-bitty. Let's have a look at the price. $16.99, so yeah, reasonable. You can buy Potion Permit Deluxe for an extra £10. with 13 items, an aquarium for one. Actually, look, there's a demo as well you can download. That's cool. So you could certainly give the demo a go, see if it's for you. But it has very, very positive feedback, and that's pretty cool given it only went live today. So there you go. That's that one. Total Warhammer, loads of these, and you can play. You can purchase.
These are all they're all very more of the same in a way. But they also all of these have a main campaign, and the main campaign is interconnected though.
It's like a story arc across all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like season, like Warhammer 3 is more like season 3.
Right.
But if you played any of the Total War games, not the Warhammer ones, like the Total War,
and stuff like that,
medieval, Shogun, it's basically more of the same, except this time it's in Warhammer, like fantasy Warhammer world, and looks really good. Like graphically, it looks really good, and obviously, it's obviously like and then the next one in 2017. I think the third one was in 2022. So the third one is really recent. But I mean, it's one of those where you have like these massive battles. I remember when was like the extended version material for Lord of the Rings, when I talk about the massive the program called Massive that they used to simulate all the crowds. Like I think Total War has I mean they've probably over time done pretty much like managed to like these days like the scale of them feel very much like that simulation.
They are gorgeous. I have dabbled in the past, but
I've fun to play for a while. They do get quite much like very samey after like 50 hours.
Even the 2016 one was still like £40, even though it's 6 years old.
They are pricey, but very well regarded by they have a very passionate fan base. And I mean the Warhammer, it's a match made in heaven to make that a Warhammer themed ones. So I think
that's amazing.
Warhammer and Total War goes hand in hand.
Very good. Right, Stephen, over to you with the PlayStation.
So we mentioned this last week, but for the people who weren't, for this week, this is going to be news for you because on the 20th, we actually got games to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium. So we actually got Deathloop, and it's a game that I actually love. I think that actually the mechanics in this game it's great because it puts the hero in a death loop where he has to kill 8 characters to escape the loop, and it just brings new fun in how you're going to challenge to break this loop. So in the end, 1 minute you do this, 1 minute you do that, and you sort of just grasp little pieces of the story each loop until you get better and better, and hopefully you do break the loop. And it just actually brings different mechanics, like shooting mechanics and creative ways how to kill your enemy. So it always just keeps on evolving and bringing more fun as you progress.
I mean, it's very. That's okay. Go.
No, as I said, I actually played a little bit of it myself this week. I've always wanted to play this game. I played it on xCloud for about an hour. And I thought, yeah, I definitely will come back to this. So I've got it on my little, put it on my backlog. But yeah, very, very nice looking game as well.
Did you get anywhere in the story, or was you just sort of?
Yeah, no, I did. I mean, I can't describe where I got to, but got a code, went into a secret area, picked up a hacker Mac or a hacker jack or something, and used it to get into doors. And then I met myself, and myself dropped me down the side of a building, and it was definitely progressing the story, and with information that I then took back to when I started again and so on. No, I could absolutely see how it worked. But I didn't realize, as you were just saying there, that I didn't realize there were multiple characters. I thought it was just this woman that you had to battle all the time.
There's 8 people
right.
you have to sort of kill to sort of.
Yeah. And I mean, it's in a lot of sense, it's more. Yeah, I mean, obviously it is a shooter, but at its core, it's more a puzzle game than anything else.
Yeah, you can use other tools, and you can even stealth if you want to. You can, it doesn't just limit you to crazy gun mechanics.
No, I was impressed. I'm genuinely looking forward to going back on it. So, yep, you're right. That came out. We got
the next one. We got Assassin's Creed Origins, which of course is set in ancient Egypt. You follow Magi across Egypt in his righteous path for justice, and just like any Assassin's Creed, it follows historical events but with a twist. So we travel all through Egypt, and we see some lovely things, sights, and
we get to meet Cleopatra and Julius Caesar, and the whole gang is there.
Actually, it's a gorgeous game. I mean, it really is. I've never played a game in Egypt before. This was the first time I've actually played a game.
And I mean, if you're into Egyptian history at all, then obviously the Discovery Tour mode is included in the game, and it's bloody brilliant. Like it's essentially like going into an Egypt museum, but virtually, and you can just walk inside of the pyramids and learn more about them as you do.
Yeah, amazing game.
I mean, it's my least favorite edition of the Discovery mode, because it's obviously the first one they made, and they've improved the concept since. The Odyssey one has like a bit more quizzes and a bit more interactivity, whereas Valhalla is basically a full game.
Origins was the one where they brought the RPG mechanics in and level scaling. And
but like just thinking about the Discovery Tour, the part of aspects of it. In Origins, it's mainly like you know in the museums where you have these like you can put your headphones on and click a button, and they'll read you some text about something. Like it's basically that. You walk around the game and you can listen to some of that and read some more, and like learn about the history. Whereas in Odyssey, it's more like you talk to people, you get a bit like it's more like a small video, and then you get a quiz on it. Whereas in Valhalla, it's like actual gameplay.
I was playing this game years ago, and my dad actually walked past me and went, I've been there. So he actually knew from the game the way it was actually designed. He was like,
it's very well executed.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
that was actually one of my favorite things.
You're not that old, so you must have,
But this is
that was actually one of my favorite things about Watch Dogs Legion, like walking around like in the streets of London. Like I walked this street.
Yeah. It's actually fairly accurate as well. I've
very. I mean, I think they removed a couple of houses every now and there. And make it more
so it's shrunk. But no, you absolutely could work out where you were. I mean, there's a bridge with a load of graffiti underneath it, which is all part of a project that Banksy set up. And we actually went there with my eldest while she was doing her archaeology degree, because her thesis was on comparison of modern graffiti with cave paintings, and whether the drivers were similar. And so really interesting, actually. She got a first for it. But the actual, you could go through the same place on Watch Dogs Legions, and it even had some of the graffiti that's there. So the attention to detail was amazing. And of course, the reason that. Yeah, they're amazing. The reason we're seeing these two games, Watch Dogs 2 as well, is of course that Ubisoft Plus is coming to PlayStation, as it is Xbox.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, they're building the games up, because as we've seen on, I don't know, we've got there yet, have we? On Xbox, they've also got some Ubisoft games this month as well. So they're gradually building up their libraries in both of these to be part of the Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah, I think in the end, what Ubisoft really want is, they want their games in the hands of as many gamers as they can, no matter where people play it.
Yeah,
that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
So we move on to Watch Dogs. So this is the sequel to the first game. It doesn't follow the same hacker Aiden Pierce. This follows a new person that works for a dead cell unit with friends,
and a new city as well.
In New City, and this is San Francisco,
I
remember. Yep. And then you go around and you try and pull down the sort of Big Brother security that's sort of hindering the people. So it's up to you to use your gadgets and your wit.
Marcus Holloway. This is my favorite of all the three.
I thought this game was a bit silly with his character development, because he was like, he portrayed he was a nice guy, and then if you got nicked, he was shooting. Then the next cinematic, he was just pretending to like not an apple.
But he had a drone, mate, and it could fly and it had wheels.
I mean, it's one of those like it doesn't take, like the Watches, like the first one took itself really seriously, and then after that we're like, why? We should just have fun with it. And then the Legion and 2, while they touch on like serious topics, they very much have fun with it. It's a matter the spider bot in Watch Dogs Legion is. I mean, my preferred way of playing Legion is jump on a cargo drone, float above my target place, send down a spider bot, take everyone out with, and then just land, go in, take the objective, and leave. As if no one has even seen me.
Drones every time. See, I thought graphically, Watch Dogs 2 graphically was the nicest looking of the three. I felt Watch Dogs Legions went backwards graphically. They were weird looking models.
I think they went. I think the whole play anyone thing took a bit more performance than they maybe should have.
I couldn't play Watch Dogs 3 too much because there was too. I don't mind gore and violence, but every time I was walking around, everyone was swearing at me. I was like, I didn't even touch you. And you're like, oh, you no,
you twat.
Yeah, exactly. You twat. Dragon Ball
Z Xenoverse is following an adaptation of the anime Dragon Ball Z. So in this one, you follow you create your own character as a time cop, and then you walk around this place, and then what you do is you interact with characters you've known from the story, and you go back in the Dragon Ball Z storyline to sort of protect it. So in the end,
and it's sort of an RPG, right?
Yeah, it literally is an anime. And then every time you finish the story, you might learn a move like the Kamehameha, and then your character gains it, and then you can customize your player, then go online and show off your ultimate fighter from the universe of.
I think I have this on Stadia. I think I played it for like 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, this seems fun. I should play this more, and then I never got back to it.
No, I've actually got on Stadia as well. I've actually acquired it on a few one, and then we're moving on to Chicory, and what happens is Chicory is a hero with a magical brush that goes missing and takes all the colour from the world of the colouring book, and it's up to you as an admirer to actually bring the colour back to the world. So in the end, you walk around and you get your palette of colours, and then you start applying it to the world and bringing the world back to life. So it just looks like life is being sucked out the colouring book. So as we mentioned, if you add blue to the water comes back alive, and then you can cross it, and there's sort of so many fun mechanics that brings it back. So that's a fun one to look at.
Yeah, definitely want to play that one. Give it a go.
Rayman Legends is another one. So this is the sort of sequel follow-up to Rayman Origins. There's no really story to this really, but it just brings so much lovable characters, music, areas. to it that it just makes you fall in love with the game from start to finish. I just love the art style from these UB Arts, and I would definitely welcome a third in the franchise if I actually could.
It's long overdue.
It is a beautiful game, and I've actually triple buyed this game from the PlayStation Vita to Stadia to over the PlayStation. So I'm not afraid to actually say, come on, it's about time.
Nice. There's also a bunch of classic games as well, aren't there?
Speaking about
just
time,
list them, and then because then we'll crack.
Speaking about time, we've actually got Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, Bentley's Backpack, and we've also got the Sly Raccoon collection as well, which is all sort of in the same world. And we've got Kingdom of Paradise, which is a sort of action slasher back in the day, and we have got Siphon Filter 2, which was a great series if anyone's sort of used to that sort of like Uncharted and Metal Gear Solid feel of games.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thank you, my friend. So they're out there as of 2 days ago. So you may not even realize I forget that they're throwing out these additional games. So it's definitely worth going to check out. I haven't looked to see if they've got any new cloud games on there.
I can't even tell which one are cloud and which are not.
No, there's no way they do them separately. I don't even think that these are necessarily added to cloud. I mean, they just have a really complicated system.
It's too complex, too hard to say. So we just go over them in case there's anything for cloud. We don't know. Your mileage may vary.
You just never know. Know. Multiplayer. Yeah, I mean, they just it's just like the poor cousin. Really, the way they handle cloud. But anyway, that's what that is.
Someone who handles cloud better.
The tile layout on PC is absolutely appalling, and not having the search bar just makes me not want to use the PlayStation Plus app.
Bjorn, I think you're going to do Xbox.
Yeah. So Xbox is a bit more embracive of cloud, so to say. We got a bunch of new releases this to cloud game, Xbox Cloud Gaming, or xCloud as we prefer to call it. It's gonna stick. We have Slime Ranchers launched today. It's free to play forever, like even if you don't have Game Pass, or is it just?
Good question. So the way you play it is you've got to go to the store, the Microsoft store, and there.
And I think it's also like if you go in the mobile app, it's like it's not listed in the game list of games, but it is listed as like a massive banner, like Slime Rancher 2, play it now, and you can click it there and go into the game. So it's a really weird one.
Yeah, I'm not 100%.
I think it's early access though.
But either way, it's. Yeah, and I played it a little bit earlier, and to be honest with you, I struggled to work out what the actual objective of the game was. I ran around.
Yeah, it's just like
vacuuming.
Is it like a farming game sim slash, but not really?
I don't know.
Or a reverse Splatoon, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, like more like that. I ran around vacuuming stuff up, and it sort of told me I needed to do things, but. Yeah, I didn't quite get it, but that's I'll try it more me than anything. See
if it's what it's about.
It's more
next up
me
we have, next up we have a game which theme tune a certain Rokk was humming before the show started. Beacon Pines. You played a bit of that today, right?
I did. I love this game. I'm trying to find. Sorry, guys, we're trying to get back to whence we found the list. Here it comes. Yeah, I played a little bit of Beacon Pines before the show, and I have to say I loved it. It's I'm actually playing it. Sorry.
so we
loves it so much. It's gonna. This is now.
I'm gonna play it again.
You've done that intention to show that's how cloud works.
I won't play it. It's gorgeous graphics. How can I put it? It kind of feels Switch-like, but it's just so nicely done. Not that they aren't. Beautiful animations and transitions. There's a lovely narrator, a young lady that narrates the story. And you collect things, and when you collect badges, you can then use those badges because it's a book. Oh, I mean, get it up. It probably won't let me because I haven't. Probably easier to show you. I wouldn't normally do this. Friends in games. Young Clive showed up there. He's probably playing C Thingy Bob.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. Yeah, he loves a bit of Sea of Thieves. So yeah, essentially, you okay? So I'm picking up.
Interesting art style.
It's gorgeous. So you have
style.
Yeah, exactly. So you pick up these little badges on your way around, and then every so often you will have a dialogue, and the narrator who has this.
It does look so cute, doesn't it?
It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so
I'm definitely going to show my younger family this.
Look at the gorgeous. So you can explore and pick things up. So
for a town that saw few visitors, the welcome was perhaps more.
Bjorn, have you seen Hollow Knight Silk Song? The character design. You look like a cuter version of that sort of.
Yeah.
Oh. Kids would love it. There's so much to explore. You can go up to anything, and there's a little question mark. Here we go.
Chapter 2. Welcome to Beacon Pines. For many years, this valley. It wasn't.
I think the biggest problem with this game for me, for my kids, would probably be the two things that they one can't really read yet, and two can't really speak English yet. So,
okay. I don't know whether there's language choice, but she's reading the words. But certainly if you're
but
not
like the dialogue when you're talking to people, for example, or like the
no, not in that case.
So, like, I mean, those were like they would probably love it if I sat next to them and like told them what to do and like what their objective was and what people were saying. Obviously, they would then skip all the dialogue, just click by it, and then go, "They say that." I couldn't tell you because you skipped past the entire dialogue. Which they do.
Did you sound like something from Animal Crossing?
Yeah, it has that kind of look to it as well, for sure. And you can redo aspects of the story. So when you make a choice in the narrative, because you literally get to choose a badge to apply to a space in the narrative. So she'll say, "Well, what are you going out to do today, then, Rollo?" And there'll be a space where he can choose one of these adjectives. So I chose chill. So I'm going to chill, but you could go back and try different ones. So there's different storyline to it as well. But it's just beautifully done. I just love the artwork.
Looks great.
Gorgeous game.
It's definitely one I'm going to try out as soon as I can. Next up, moving on, we have Spider Heck.
Oh, I played this as well. Yeah, I gave this a little go as well. Let me just quit out of this a second. Hey, Dre, how are you, dude? Thank you for popping in. There we go. I'm not going to tell you anything. Go away. Yeah,
Spider Heck
is an
spiders with laser swords.
Yeah,
the first words that come up, and I already love it.
Spidery. There's PvP. There's local co-op. You can set up your own little server and play with people.
Yeah. It's a fast-paced couch co-op brawler where spiders dance to the death in the grip of chaotic battles using laser swords, grenades, and even rocket launchers to defeat. I mean, it looks really interesting.
It's a really interesting little game.
It's like Worms meet Super Smash with spiders.
Ooh,
is that a reasonable description of it, or
it's so you by and large, it's like no, I think that's a reasonable description when I think about it. Yeah, because stuff drops from the sky and explodes, and you spin your web, and you have to jump over things.
Right, so Super Smash meets Worms, but with spiders and lasers.
Yes, exactly that.
Perfect.
It's even got a seizure warning. Look at that. They are definitely spiders, though, and if you don't like spiders, you're probably not going to like it.
Yeah, nothing for my son then.
Working and listening.
Yeah. Bless you, Next up, bless you. Next up, we have Deathloop on Xbox as well. So no matter if you have an Xbox or a Game Pass, or if you have PlayStation Plus, you now have Deathloop. Congrats. Play wherever you want. So this is we already talked about that before. Let's go over to Shipbreaker, and this is one that I'm a bit curious about because this was shown off. Like, this is obviously some sort of it's almost a simulation game. Which is like, here's a spaceship, we're salvaging it. That's it, and that's the game. It's been really well regarded. It released on PC, I think last year or 2 years ago, but now it's coming to consoles, and with that also coming to xCloud, which is it's funny enough, they said it wasn't coming to cloud initially. Like PlayStation, with PlayStation, you can't tell what's on cloud and what's not. With Xbox, they tell you these games are coming to Game Pass. This is coming to Game Pass PC. This is coming to Game Pass console and PC. This is coming to cloud. And then in the end, half of them, the ones that wasn't coming to cloud, did come to cloud anyway.
Yeah,
this is definitely one of them. Like I'm really curious. Like graphically, when they showed off in the latest showcase, it looked great.
It looks good.
I mean,
yeah,
it's like salvage a spaceship. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
So Zero G, like it's like the simulation games, but in Zero G, which makes everything better.
Yeah, no, I'm. This is one I'm definitely looking forward to playing as well. I like to give all of the games that come to xCloud a little play just to see. Yeah.
Even Ni no Kuni. I'll play the one you recommended before. You play Ni no Kuni.
Which one? I'm not playing any of your Japanese games, mate. You're not getting me down that road. Ninigumi.
It means two worlds.
I don't care what it means, mate. I ain't playing it. You just get on with your Genshin.
Don't worry, HoultS, Stephen. I'll get to it in my list because it's one of those I think have touch support, so I'll get to it in
I can't be
my
doing
list
all
of
that.
in my
Too
project.
many games.
I've passed 100 tested games now on my journey through touch.
Those are all of the ones that have just come out in the last few days.
One more. That's Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yes.
So the sequel to Origins, but takes place before Origins in terms of when it on the historical time period.
Ancient Greece.
Yeah, so a few hundred years before ancient Egypt. But yeah, it's because it's late ancient Egypt in Origins. Like Odyssey was one of my favorite. Like, it's probably my favorite AC in the last couple of years.
It's a great game.
I prefer Odyssey over Valhalla, for example. I think Odyssey is a better game.
I agree.
I
really liked. Like there's nothing wrong with Valhalla. I liked it. I gave my seal of approval in my review, but still, Odyssey is better.
Yeah. This was the first Assassin's Creed game that I ever purchased, and then played. I think having played Origins as a rental. And then I bought Odyssey, and I'm still playing it to this day. Still love it.
Yeah. So for me, it was like I like when Stadia launched, and I got my founder's kit, I got my code, and I jumped in, played Destiny for like an hour, and was like, "Yeah, this really works." What else is on there? Oh, Assassin's Creed. I'm buying it now, and then I played it for like 150 hours.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great game. Really recommend it if you haven't played it before.
Yeah. Sure.
And that's all. As we said, that's all of the games that came out on xCloud this week. However, there's one small piece of news as well for that. If you have Prime Gaming, which some of us do, you can click the Get in-game content when you log into this page, and you will get the DLC Flames of the Nether for Minecraft Dungeons. So Minecraft Dungeons is obviously included with Game Pass, but as with a lot of Game Pass games, you don't get the DLC. So it's a base game, and the base game is pretty fun. I had a lot of fun with it on my phone, playing with my son. We signed up for like each. I think when they had the 3 month trials, we both got them around the same time, and then we just played Minecraft Dungeons like almost daily for almost 2 months together. Like we sat down with one phone each on the couch and played it. It plays really well with touch. Obviously, slightly better with controller. I have since bought it for PlayStation for my kid to play on the TV, and I now use Game Pass. So I need to get PlayStation Plus so we can play together.
Exactly.
It's really annoying. But yeah, like the DLC, there's 2 DLCs. Might be 3, but I think there are 2. One of them is this one, which basically uploads a bunch of levels based on the Nether of Minecraft, and I mean it's more of the same, really, in a sense, but it's a fun game, so why not? And it's free if you have free to claim, and you basically just get a code that you redeem on Microsoft, and then you own the DLC then for Windows and Xbox. So a great way to get a extra content for a game that's.
I've never played a Minecraft game ever.
Oh, like then I kind of want you to do like a Minecraft, like obviously like Minecraft Dungeons is really very much like it's basically let's take like Diablo and like make it simplified as much as simplified as much as we can.
Yeah.
Make it like for a really broad audience and just put it in the Minecraft universe.
Right.
Whereas Minecraft itself, I mean, it's at this point it's one of the like I mean, I think everyone who's ever played Minecraft for more than 10 hours will probably tell you, like, you can ask anyone who's ever played Minecraft for more than 10 hours, like, even if it was 5 years ago, like, oh, when you do you remember the first night in Minecraft? And everyone was like, "Oh yeah, it was so cool." I mean, after a while, it becomes more like, you have like my son. He just wants to kill enemies. I just want to build cool stuff. But I mean, the first time you play it, it's like that first night. It's really impactful.
I've never played Minecraft. I never liked the visual aspects of it. But I sat down with my niece and nephews, who were 8 at the time, and the way they explained it and how much fun they had in their faces explaining that game, it makes me go, wow, I'm glad there's actually a game out there that actually brings this much enjoyment to everyone at a lot of ages.
And I mean, when you say everyone, I mean, it's sold more than, I think isn't it the best-selling game of all time at this point? It's one of those, like,
certainly up there, isn't it?
Yeah,
even more so than Fortnite now, would you say? I mean, Fortnite's free, I suppose, isn't it? So.
Sales.
I mean, I guess it depends.
238 million copies sold since launch.
Microsoft bought it, didn't they?
Yeah, for I think $3 billion. I think it was. But yeah, like if you haven't played Minecraft before, play it. It's really.
So you would recommend Dungeons as the first?
No. I would recommend the standard Minecraft, and then if you because I mean obviously, like, I recommend Dungeons as a game, but not as the first game doing it in the Minecraft universe. Like playing playing the normal game, playing a couple of days, like obviously this is day-night cycle, like a couple of days and nights, or like really like explore, like until build your first house and get set up as a farm, and I mean it's just a survival game to us in a sense, but I mean and if you don't like the art style, there's obviously skin packs you can install them down to get a whole different look. I feel like
I will have to put it on my backlog.
Honestly, I think you can even. I think it's maybe a good idea to do when you finally get to it, do a stream of it. People love seeing people experience Minecraft for the first time. So
old man plays Minecraft. There you go. There's the
old man plays Minecraft for the first time. You'll like that. That could, I mean, I can see that getting up a couple of thousand views easily.
I'll do it. I might even get my dad in. I might get my dad in and.
Two old men playing Minecraft.
I can imagine his dad. That's not how you build a house, Rokk. He's like,
exactly.
I mean, the things people build in Minecraft. I mean, I've seen, like there's a community that builds the entire Middle Earth in like scale.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it?
Like scale 1 to 1, Minas Tirith.
I've never seen people design loads of Nintendo levels, and then Nintendo went, "No, we're not having this. Close it down."
There's even one guy that I saw. Just I think last week, He's built within Minecraft, because there is like you have this material called redstone, which is and you have like redstone torches and repeaters, meaning you can essentially build logic gates. There's one guy who's like, and I mean, back in the day, people built like calculators, and eventually someone made a graph calculator. So now someone has made Minecraft within Minecraft. Like they've built a massive PC, working PC, with logic gates and everything within Minecraft, that then has a screen that runs Minecraft.
How do you build a working PC in Minecraft?
No, using redstone and repeaters. And,
I see. Flip me. There are people out there with too intelligent.
That's the extent of what's possible in that game. And like it's just a regular survival game, and with the creative mode where you can build whatever you want, have unlimited resources.
Crazy.
But you can build crazy stuff.
That's unbelievable.
So, yeah. Minecraft is one of those games that's never gonna get old.
Do you know? Have you ever seen the movie Inception?
Yeah, love that film.
That's the story of Minecraft. When you actually leave Minecraft, you'll be constantly in Minecraft.
It keeps folding around you. Now, although this screen has nothing on offer as far as the games that have been released in the last week or so on Luna, but we have a very short list which we can run through very shortly. If you want to just quickly do that, Bjorn.
Yeah, we have Thymesia. released on September 15th. We had on the same day. They also released Loom Mode, which the Master Mode Chronicle, which is a great game. King of Fighters 97 Global Match, right on the Retro channel, and Hot Wheels Unleashed is free to play until September 30th on the Prime Gaming channel.
That's it. That's all we have.
Yeah, and obviously we can't play any of those games. Sorry,
no,
it's not out here.
If we had it, we'd notice. I think it's going to be coming soon. That's all I'm going to say. Right, I am going to do Stadia very quickly. So we had 4 new games coming from Atari. Let's pull this up, Stadia dosage. There's 4 new Atari Recharge games, which I will be giving away tomorrow on my Rokk Show channel. And if you guys go over there, you'll be able to find out how. I don't know why... okay, cool. We'll do that. I don't know why this isn't coming up on my screen. Let me try again. It's probably Chrome. Here we go. Yeah. So the 4 recharges, which are Asteroids, Black Widows, Breakout, and Gravitar. They're all available. $7.99 UK, $9.99 US and euros. All amazing, and they all have a 30-minute trial as well. So even if you don't have a Stadia account, you can just go to the Stadia homepage, go to the trials, and try any of those out for 30 minutes, which I intend to do because I don't own them, but that will be well worth doing. From space, this is not just a Stadia game, but it is a Stadia Pro game that we were told is coming out on September the 30th. That's been revised, we think, because, of course, FIFA coming out the same day. So probably. It's been pushed back to November the 3rd. Allegedly. We don't know, but it's a fairly good guess, I think. So, yeah, November the 3rd for that one. Looking forward to it. It's still going to be a pro game, obviously now for November. So whether it's coming out November 3rd everywhere, but coming out November 1st on Stadia as a pro game, we shall see. I haven't a clue. We also had yesterday, in fact, Tuesday, beg your pardon, the new Stadia Pro games for October announced, and a nice little bunch they are too. Arcade Paradise from Wired, which is an amazing looking game. Everyone that has played this, it hasn't even been out that long. I think it came out in August. Everybody that's played this loves it. I think it's a great coup for Stadia to get this one in as a pro game for October. Drawful 2, which looks...
also brings you very close to the 100 games this year, if you count the 35 games.
The 35 in there, yeah, exactly. I'm sure nobody will. Drawful 2 from the guys that brought You Don't Know Jack and the Jack Box, the Jack Pack of games. I'm fairly 99% certain that this was one of those games, because I've got some of the older ones, and I'm sure this is in there.
Yeah, I think Drawful is part of one of those Jackpot games.
Yeah,
I think they've taken that and made it release a standalone. As so, I mean, if you like that, if now that comes to pro, if you like it, then you buy one of the.
I do wonder, and I stand to be corrected on this if it exists elsewhere, but I do wonder whether the Jackbox guys actually separated it out as a promotional game to give away for this kind of thing, so that because it is a fun game. So you kind of get given a phrase and you have to draw it, and everyone else has to guess which phrase it was that you had from your drawing. So you don't have to be particularly good at drawing, but it can be fun when people go, "What the hell is that?" You go, "Well, it's a television set." Well, it looks more like a football. It's that kind of stuff.
Call that a fucking television set? No, that's
exactly.
That's a Chicago style hot dog.
Yeah, exactly. Slake Paradise. Sorry, it's.
Oh yeah, it's a standalone release from. It's not. I can't find if it's in one of these Jackbox, but it's very much one of those we'll give you this one on pro, and then hopefully you like it, then buy all the Jackbox party games.
Exactly.
It's a great deal. I mean, go for it.
It's a great game anyway, and you can play it with all your friends. All they need is a device, a phone or a tablet or a laptop. They use the code, which is unique to your game, and then they can play it remotely as well. So
I wonder if this has direct touch support on mobile on Stadia.
Possibly. You have to
look into that.
find
I'll have
out.
to try that out.
1st of October.
Interesting. Also, also one of those, they've now announced it's coming to Pro. It's not listed on their website as coming to Stadia, being available on Stadia at all.
No, this is why beyond that. Slaycation Paradise. This is a good little game. I played the PC version of this on my Rokk Around the Clock the other week just to see how it played, and it was fun. It's top-down twin stick with kind of tower defense elements as well. But
I mean, Orcs Must Die proved it worked for third-person shooters, so why not work for twin stick shooters?
Absolutely, it's worth a look. So that's a fun one. Tangle Tower. It's a kind of a puzzle game, murder mystery thing, which is it's quite nice. Looks good. One of those that I think is going to be a sleeper. You're going to look at it and think, oh, that's probably going to be the worst one in the pack. But you get to play it and think, actually, it's the one I've come back to the most. And then
all reviews on Steam overwhelmingly positive with over 2,000 reviews.
There you go. I suspected that will be the case. The puzzles look really good, and they're obviously interspersed amongst a story.
Yeah, very unique art style as well.
Very much so. Looking for aliens, it's kind of Where's Wally, basically. I think we touched on this before. And this and Arcade Paradise are the two I am so looking forward to. I love the idea of this, trying to find the alien amongst
that's so cool. Looking at the gameplay video on Steam, this looks very, very interesting.
Looking for aliens.
I'm gonna love it. Yeah, I'm gonna love it.
Yeah, it looks great.
Also one of those, if this has direct touch support, I'm gonna be in love with it. If it doesn't, I'm probably not going to touch it.
It looks really good, and it's one that you can definitely play with the youngsters that don't necessarily need to speak the language. Because it shows you along the bottom all the things that you need to find. It might be a spaceship, it might be an ice cream cone, it might be
It makes me curious. Is this from the same guys who made Hidden Ones? Because it looks very much like the same art style, except this one is color.
It doesn't actually say.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, they don't actually cover off who publishes it on Stadia. No idea. 25 vibrant locations, including Area 51. See the world through the lens of an alien TV show and search out hidden objects. Just a simple idea, but I know this is going to be so much fun trying to find those little bits and pieces hidden away in there. So there you go.
Yeah, it's not the same developer, but there's more. If you like that game, I can really recommend Hidden Folks. It's black and white, but it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah. No, why not? And then all of those are brand new to Stadia. So all those 5 games have not appeared on the platform. And then the 6th game they're throwing in the mix is already on the platform. That's the Addams Family Mansion of Mayhem
for the kids.
It's actually a really good game. This is it's Outright Games, beg your pardon, have done a ton of kids stuff, all of them usually with a well-known franchise. But out of all of them I've played, this is probably the one that I enjoyed the most. It's actually a higher level age group, so maybe 14s, 15s upwards, but definitely one that we as adults would enjoy as well. So 6 games coming out October 1st to Stadia. If you have a Pro account, they've also got a big old sale on at the moment. They've got Cyberpunk at half price. 5
brand new games plus the 4 Atari games. That's 9 new games announced in one block. That's impressive.
Yeah. They're going to become
a new record.
And the month ain't over yet, mate. That's all I'm going to say. They should be coming thick and fast. A few other things announced, but we've covered those off elsewhere. So I think we'll crack on to Boosteroid.
So Boosteroid announced some games just the other day that they're actually bringing in partnership with their partnership, should I say? So we actually got HoultS, where you actually play a little robot called HoultS, and the whole aim of the game is the journey has went wrong, and you have to scour the planet that you're actually going to find resources to actually help the colonists when they come out of cryo status, to inform them that everything's went wrong.
Looks like it. I mean, graphically, I like that. I really enjoyed that hand drawn art style.
This looks very much like Spider Heck, actually, Bjorn. This graphically looks very similar. It's that kind of
like hand-drawn.
Yeah,
pixel art.
not a huge amount of detail, but lovely animation. Very similar looking.
Then we've got Super Impossible Road. So this is actually a multiplayer game where you can have like sort of chaos with friends. It's a racer where you play as like a space balloon across these well-lit, neon-lit tracks. And in the end, the whole point is to actually just stray on the track and go faster and faster.
And I'm guessing you can bounce into each other and bounce people up.
Yeah,
the
you
track.
can play local split screen, or you can actually play across the internet. It has a career mode and a global scoreboard. So in the end, it's up to you how you actually want to play.
Yeah, I can see that. Like this one, really, if this one were to release on Stadia, I think this one would really do well with the crowd who loves like the Tri-Six, the Atari games crowd that really this part of the community that really dove into those games. They would love this, and I mean I would too. So hopefully they can bring it to more platforms as well. Because
look at this. This couldn't be more 8-bit if it tried, could it?
Yeah, is this the Super Mega Zone?
Yep. So
in the end, you play like as like the minimalistic hero in history of gaming, and
looks like 8 colors.
It literally is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is exactly 8 colors.
200 levels, diverse tasks. I wonder if this is touch. Do you know if Boosteroid employed touch controls, Bjorn?
I do not know that.
No.
Let's find a Boosteroid.
Stumble Guys. See, these are all.
So Stumble Guys is a mass elimination multiplayer where it's last one standing.
It's Fall Guys, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they just put a new word on the front.
So it's up to 32 players. You can play online and you fight on different levels. So yeah, chaos, fun, and all that. So
I think Stumble Guys is actually one of the. I mean, sure, it's basically Fall Guys, like slightly lower production value, but I think that one even supports VR.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
So yeah, I remember a friend of mine got a Quest 2 recently. They were like, "There is Fall Guys for VR, guy. This is so cool." I was like,
"Wow!"
And then turned out, "Oh no, it's not. It's just it's Stumble Guys." So like,
before you fall, you stumble. Stumble Guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Oculus, I guess.
And then last one is Portal 2. So we talked about Portal 1 before, and this is sort of the sequel to the science game where you actually use portals to actually solve puzzles and escape this menacing robot that keeps on tormenting of humanity.
Do you think there's a chance of a Portal 3 with all this revised interest?
I think with all the mechanics in game that we see now, I think it will look lovely and play well, and I think it will actually sell well in today's market across many devices.
Just wish they would do that. I really do. Thank you, my friend. So that's your Boosteroids, which is like your hemorrhoids, only more fun. And then on top of that, just to end up, I know you had a little talking point, Stephen, that you wanted to.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be in the sort of the PlayStation era, but Shuhei Yoshida mentioned he wanted to reiterate to the community that PlayStation Plus will not be bringing games to the day one games to the service. They actually wanted to start telling to the cloud community to see it as a premium experience, how we sort of do it in the cinema. First it goes to cinema, then it goes to video on demand, then it goes to TV, then free. And what he actually was trying to say is he actually wanted to have extend the life expectation of a game, so we're always constantly talking non-stop about it, and it'll actually help the developers and the industry. So he's just trying to say.
So the point there is that the game releases, and then like when the buzz dies down, they release it on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, so he said in 6+ months it'll come to that, and in the end it'll always be there in your mind for a bit. He said it's not because we don't want to do it. He just said we just want to always want to create revenue and buzz for our developers and our publishers.
Yeah, I feel this is just Sony doing this basically the same thing as they did with cloud. It's like they dabble in it a little bit, but they don't want to commit fully to it. Yeah. And I think that hurts them more than it helps them in the end.
I totally agree.
Like, I mean, if they don't want to go down that route, that's perfectly fine. They don't have to. I'm not like, and I think they can do very well without doing that. But then they either they say we're keeping PlayStation Plus as it was back then, or we go the Game Pass route on it. Like there is no you can't really. This is somewhere in between, and I don't think that's gonna work to do any good for them. I mean, because if they would still be the old PlayStation Plus, and then we have PS Now for the like streaming older titles. I mean, that would have been like that would have been its own thing. Now they get compared to Game Pass every single time, and it's just gonna be, it's like Game Pass but worse. And that's not a situation they want to be in.
Well, the way they explained it is because I played Halo Infinite and I really loved it, but after a month or two, it just died down. So by taking this approach, maybe it actually will cater for other gamers to actually.
I mean, I think in theory, sure, but I think what will happen is people just compare the service to xCloud and it will and like Game Pass, and people just say like, yeah, I mean, Game Pass is the better service, and that like they will, like the whole discussion about it online will shift, which will hurt their sales quite significantly. And I mean, as the second that conversation leaves the gaming community and starts trickling that out into like the people in the vicinity who like the mother who's gonna buy a console for their kid, that's what they don't want happening. And I mean, I think like the hardcore PlayStation fans, like I mean, it's not a bad idea per se. It's just it would have been a great idea if they did that, like had this approach a couple of years ago. But
what do you think?
The industry shifted so much.
What do you think? And I agree with you, by the way. But what do you think, guys, of this as a kind of an obtuse thought on this? What if they said, if you are a PlayStation Plus Premium subscriber, you'll actually get to play these games. That's, you know, as you do if you're a Game Pass Ultimate. However, we're also at the same time going to release them on PC and Xbox for sale. So although
I would love that approach.
That would be great.
Because I mean, I know ultimately they're exclusives right now, but the point is, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium person, you get them as part of that. So there's an encouragement there to own a PlayStation and subscribe.
I think that would be a great way to.
Yeah, but you sort of lose quality on the PC, don't you, if you're streaming it?
Well, that's
but like if they also release it, like you can buy it as you can buy Spider-Man now a year later.
Yeah.
So instead of them going, because I mean, if you look at this for the entire picture, what Sony really means here is they're going to be. We announced, like, God of War is announced with big bus releases, big as a PlayStation exclusive, big bus.
Yeah.
6 months later, it's now releasing on PlayStation Plus, small bus, and then it's like, and another 6 months, it's now releasing on PC, another bus, and I think Sony needs to realize that this is most likely going to be the last generation when consoles are not a niche product. Like they'll probably release a PlayStation 6. It's probably going to be a great device, but it's going to be a niche product, and they need to move to. I think they really need to start moving to becoming like a publisher first. And I think if they would become like Ubisoft and EA combined into one. That also made really great, like, and also be Razer, because they would make like a VR headset. They would make really, really, really good controllers with amazing haptics. They would have this entire spectrum of really great accessories and be a massive publishing partner. And they could release on any platform at that point. And just really, and then they could have their like. And obviously, if you have our niche niche console product, you get all of these games included for free.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense because they're still getting sales from the other platforms, so they're not. You know, they probably would be getting the same level of sales. They're getting people buying
multiplayer games.
Yeah, they're getting people buying PlayStations and subscribing, knowing that they're going to get this stuff day and date. So they've also sold boxes and subscriptions, which means they're likely to sell other games as well. So they're not losing out, and everything happens. You know, without
the only thing that would mean is they would be prepared for the day when consoles, in-home console become a niche product, which they need. They need to start pivoting for that. Otherwise, they're going to have massive problems in just a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like it's not like when 2030 hits. I mean, sure, it's a long way ahead, but I mean, still, like remember like 2028 maybe, when like I don't know when like usually I think Sony said that a PlayStation life cycle is about 10 years.
Right.
They've said in the past. So if they stick by that, then it's going to be around 2029, 2030 that the P6 will arrive. I don't think there will be a market for home consoles at that point, except for
there won't be them. Yeah, there won't be one.
So like they need, and I mean, pivoting a company of the size of Sony Even if it's just a division like PlayStation, it takes years. They need to start doing that pivoting now, if they're going to have a chance to remain as relevant and big as they are. So I think
you're
they
right.
can. They have the studios. They have the know-how. They have the amazing accessory teams.
No, your point about them not, I said it on my show earlier. I think it's such a shame because they were like one of the first there with cloud. They were one of the first with remote play. The best hardware, the best user interface, but they just don't seem to be able to follow it up and join the dots, which is what Microsoft are doing. They know exactly what they're up to.
They had a Vita. I remember playing PlayStation Now, and it worked flawless for me with certain games.
Yeah.
And then on my Sony Bravia TV connecting a DualShock 4, it worked great. And then to see these be removed from it and only seeing them cloud now coming via that, I was like, PlayStation, you were on a winner. I see what you were trying to say. It might have not been financial support of going in that space at that moment, but you should have just kept it there and let it roll out and play it as it was.
Yeah, they're in the innovation space. They're usually a bit too early in, and then they never commit,
and then they just fall off.
Yeah, but I mean, they do have I would go out and say I think PlayStation Studios is the best publishing house out there right now. Unfortunately, they're held back in a way by the fact that they are only making exclusives for PlayStation. If they were able to make games for multi-platform, if they could choose we want to release this on PC, on Xbox, on PlayStation, on Switch, on Stadia, on everything, they probably the studios themselves probably would. I mean, they just want to make. They feel like they basically just want to make really cool, great games that people love and want people to play them. So I think it's more like the Sony suits need to, realize that the future for Sony PlayStation is as a powerhouse publisher, and they would be one of the biggest. They would become the biggest publisher overnight.
The talent they have,
and the size. I mean, they are they are combined Ubisoft and EA, and you probably still can't compete with them. So.
No, it's a shame, and I don't think they'll ever change because I think it is cultural at Sony.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem.
And it's not. I mean, obviously, we think of PlayStation, but obviously they're a vast company that ranges from music publishing to hardware production and development. So they have a different attitude. They have a different attitude to making money than Xbox does, and it's as simple as that.
I think I think it still might be that the camera division is probably the biggest moneymaker for Sony, because I think the Sony camera I might because
that's interesting because cameras have been dying. I mean, that's literally a dying market.
Like Sony builds the cameras that are used in pretty much every other
medicine and so on.
Mobile manufacturer. If you buy a Samsung, the camera hardware, I think it might have changed by now, but I think if you buy a Xiaomi phone, for example, or LG phone back when they still made phones, the hardware, the camera software was obviously the different ones, but the camera hardware, the lenses and the actual camera, that was Sony built.
Right. Okay.
Up until at least the Samsung S20, I think, still used Sony cameras, at least for most of them. So Sony, the Sony cameras, I think, and I mean the iPhone still used them for quite a while as well. I think
it's actually not as massive a company as I thought. Sony Corporation's global revenue is 88.3 billion US. Sony's net income in 2021 was 7.9 billion. So after tax, etc., EBITDA. Games,
but we also know they're trying to expand into I mean, obviously the Uncharted movie was a fun movie. It wasn't a great movie. It was a fun movie.
I've still to watch it, actually. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I agree with Bjorn.
I saw it in cinemas and I enjoyed it. It's not like people went in expecting it's gonna be like the Uncharted games. No, it's gonna be a I went into it with expecting it's gonna be a fun Indiana Jonesy style thing, and it was. And I mean it was never going to be the same as the games. It was never trying to be. But I mean, the Last of Us TV show looks incredible. The trailer they released looks really, really good. and I think they mentioned like obviously they now have like PlayStation Studios now has a PlayStation like film and TV division. So I think they're gonna do more in that space as well. Because obviously Sony do that too.
Well, interestingly, looking at this, Bjorn, I'll zoom in a bit. This is a breakdown over the last 2019, 20, and 21. This is a breakdown of their revenue by segment in fiscal years. Their biggest is game and network services across all 3 years.
But look at the size of imaging and sensing solutions.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near.
10% is, but still 10% is big.
It's half of what they're making from game and network services. Yeah. But what's interesting is actually 2020 was their biggest year. I guess that's COVID, isn't it?
Maybe. Yeah, that's a COVID effect.
So you would expect to see pictures. I'm assuming they mean movies. That's dropped. Yeah. Well, clearly, it would have dropped in 2020 because nobody went to the cinema.
But I mean, like for example,
you still have video on demand.
Did you guys watch the Wheel of Time TV show on Amazon?
Yes.
That's Sony Pictures.
I didn't rate it very much.
Sony Pictures do Cobra Kai as well.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like Sony Pictures make a lot of really good stuff. Like they make TV shows for Amazon, for Netflix, for all of them, for Disney.
So they're electronic products and solutions. So by that, I'm assuming there's like televisions and vacuum cleaners and stuff,
and stereos and
and all that malarkey. I mean, it's interesting how poor that was back in 2019. It was literally only a 4% sale. That's now up to 23.8%.
Maybe I'm guessing that the one they took some this thing from this division is now part of the electronics product.
Yeah, and it could have been a write-off as well. They could have taken a bath on some stuff just to pick it up. But nonetheless,
I think in 2019 there were rumors that they were going to close down the cell phone business. So then they're still going with that. Because I think they had around that time they released the Xperia 10 series, which is like a mid-range. Really good mid-range phones. If you're looking to get away with a really good Android phone, but not spend too much money on it, obviously the Xperia 10 series is really, really good.
Music, interestingly, is fairly consistent between the 3 years, which is interesting.
I think streaming music is probably
so. Financial services would be, I guess, if you were to buy a television on, 3 years interest free, for example, and then they've got their own financial organization. That's interesting how much revenue that makes for them.
No, I'm not surprised. That's that's what I work with. It's a big industry.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, fintech. So, still, the most interesting one for me is the game and network is so vast.
Yeah, that's surprising.
This is quite a nice piece of.
But I mean, and that's the thing. That's almost a third of the revenue, and that is at risk of being decimated if they don't they're not careful.
That's true.
And I really don't want that to happen because I really like what they're doing. It's just I wish they would be more prepared for it.
Yeah, I agree. Good little discussion topic. Thank you for that, Stephen.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that. You didn't say anything, but me and Bjorn enjoyed it, mate.
I started off. I said about shooting. You went past on.
Poor old Dre's going, speak up, Stephen. And I'm like, no, he hadn't said anything.
What was wrong with the mic?
Oh, it was all right. We should try and get one of those in every week, actually. That's a cool one. Stephen will be working on bringing some more of those next week. Guys, I think we should call it a day at that point.
I've just stood up. My legs are just walked on that stuff.
This is why everybody should do this from a lovely leather armchair like I do. They may laugh at me, but I'm telling you now.
I did actually have a brown chair. I used to do it, and I was like,
yeah.
I remember saying your height of you, Rokk, and I'm sitting there, and I was seeing you, I'm like, God, I wish I went back to my chair.
How tall are you, Stephen?
5'11".
Oh, okay. Bjorn, you're what, 5'9", 5'10"?
I'm 185 centimeters.
Oh, well, there you go. That's 1.8 meters.
That's how we measure over here.
That's 3.3 feet roughly to a meter.
Well, look, I've got a gaming stool.
Right. I can just imagine, the day that one breaks and goes up your
Yeah, it looked more, to me. It looks more like a beret on a stick.
Gaming centipede. It'll just be HoultS with a big fucking. Be like the first ever human stool.
Oh dear!
I'd be like, doctor, I have a problem with me stool.
Yeah,
What?
Your prostate.
You got problems with your bowels? No, look, me problem with me stool.
Awesome stuff, guys. What are we going to be doing for the next week? Either streaming or playing. Stephen, you got any plans?
So at the moment, I'm actually going to round it up. I'm actually finish Cobra Kai tonight, and then I'm straight into Cyberpunk, the animation on.
Edge Runner. Yeah.
So I'm going into that and see if it actually brings me some more inspiration to actually finish Cyberpunk, and then of course there's going to be FIFA 23. So.
Next Friday, yeah. I finished off all of the Christopher Pike Star Treks earlier, which is
I want his T-shirt for Halloween. I liked his version of shirt.
with the little sort of symbols on it. Yes, gorgeous, isn't it? Have you watched the whole series, Stephen?
Yes, I've finished it.
I was just the only thing that disappointed me was the choice for Kirk at the end.
Oh yeah, he's the guy out of Vampire Diaries.
Was he?
His name. Yeah,
to me, he looked like Jim Carrey. It was like, what? He's looked nothing like William Shatner. Why would you do that? But then I suppose she looks nothing like a
Uhura. Look the way everyone's getting quiffs in space.
Yeah, I know, and they're all using iPads and think, oh come on, this is hundreds of years in the future. They must have some half decent holographic technology, even if it was old school Star Trek. But yeah, really enjoying it. So I've finished those. I'm now back on to Discovery because, of course, it got moved from Netflix from the end of season 3 to Paramount. So I've got season 4 to watch, which I'm really looking forward to because I loved that show. That was really good. I'm a bit of a trekker, as you may have guessed. All my usuals. I think is coming up to the final episode tomorrow. I think. Obviously, Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, and the Power of the Ring. They're great shows. I
watched Power of the Ring, and I got to the ends of 3, and I just said, no, it's
because you're a Tolkien kind of fan, and it's grating, or
I just didn't find the pacing actually.
Okay.
Compared to House of Dragons, I think I'm actually sitting down going, "Oh, this is actually great."
But how many episodes in did you get?
3. I'm on starting 4.
Then you've seen more than I have. To be honest, I still haven't seen anything past episode 2 yet. So I haven't had time.
Oh, they're all brilliant. I agree the most recent one was slower than the others. I'll give you that.
I see potential in it. But I think the pacing of the
but if it's gonna be one of the slower shows, which I can appreciate it to some extent, it can be nice. Yeah, to have sometimes. But yeah, if you're not in the mood for it, I totally get it.
A good mix. It's good to have in the mix. That's how I look at it.
But I think I'll progress it when I've got nothing better to do. In a sense, it's not a terrible show.
No,
it definitely deserves a 6 and a 7 out of me. I'm just trying to say that it's not because I've got so much to watch. That's I deem epic.
I've got a feeling, that the last half of the last season of Walking Dead's coming up in October as well, because they split it into.
I sort of stopped that 2 seasons ago. I think it just got so tedious. So.
It definitely deserves to be ended. I agree. Bjorn, you going to be doing any? Oh yes, you've got your new show coming out.
And I'm recording. So right after we're done, I'm gonna jump in a call with Ninja, and we're gonna do our new show that we are launching. And it's gonna be it's gonna be a pre-recorded thing where we're aiming for maybe around half an hour. So the idea is basically he loves video game music. I think he collects vinyls even.
Yes,
and he has his radio show on Canadian radio.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he does.
And everything. And I love video game music as well. But our taste in games is so different. So I was like, I mean, you love music, I love music. We love different games. So most likely, if we show each other our favorite tracks, we probably haven't heard it. So we're gonna each once a month we're gonna get together whenever we find the time in our busy schedules, and obviously time zone differences of 5 hours. And basically, so like I'm gonna show him a song, and he's gonna show me a song, and then we're gonna talk about it for a bit, and then
I'll be tuning in, guys, because I know beyond the music taste you like, but I relate more to Ninja Guy X's because he loves like JRPGs and Final Fantasies and stuff like that. So it'd be good to see if he actually brings up, and I'll be like, "Quite Bjorn, love the song," so I'll be there.
Yeah. So and I mean, it's gonna be one of those. We're gonna record it today, and then I'm gonna do some editing, and we're gonna release it properly because I don't want to have. Like, I want you guys there to watch it later to be able to experience the music completely. I mean, not with any compression from like Melon or Discord or anything. Like no compression. Like just this is a full high quality MP3 file. I'm gonna put that in video and then.
When are you going? When are you showing the premiere?
As like we're recording it today, and then I'm gonna edit it over the weekend or next week. So sometime next week. I don't really know when. I'll announce it on Twitter. And then also, except other than that, I actually finished the Rokk book review script, and I've actually even recorded the script. I haven't edited anything of it. I haven't even taken out my bad takes. So I need to do that. So I have a bunch of editing ahead of me, and then obviously
make sure you keep your bad takes for like a show reel.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, we can sort of see that.
I've been bad at that before, but yeah. And then obviously I just got a Kichi too, so I'm gonna keep using that as much as I can, and then get a review done.
Got to do that unboxing. It's honestly that would be the most views that you've had on your channel.
I hate I hate watching it as well.
I know, but they get ridiculous views. I've got one video of an unboxing of a PC on my channel. It's like third most watched. I did a chair where I'd sliced half my finger off.
Yeah, I've seen your PC and I've seen your chair.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I did go. What I was going to ask you was, how are you going to deal with copyright? I know you're not monetized, but they could still pull the thing.
I mean, if they pull it, obviously I'm going to have to just mute it and say that, if you want to listen to it.
Just a music show with no music.
And just cut that off like completely and just say, it's got
hum it. Clear, but, you could just hum your tunes.
But I mean,
here's Final Fantasy 8.
Like, if it gets demonetized, if it gets partially blocked, then it's gonna be whatever. It's just we do it for the love of the music. It's anyway.
We'll be in the background swaying to the humming.
How do those massive channels that do reviews? How do they get away with it? Because I've watched them and they pause it every 30 seconds and stuff. But if you check out the legals on copyright playing, it's irrelevant how many seconds of it you play.
Yeah, it's one of those. I think like the amount of seconds is one of those. Like so there's the fair use law in the US that means that you can use about 10 minutes of like no more than 10 minutes of footage of something but you also you can't just upload 10 minutes of it. You also need to you need to critique it, or you're gonna add some value to it.
I thought they paid for like a really, really, really expensive service that give them sort of the rights to use.
No, the review people.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. Maybe they do.
No, I think I heard something that because there was in the heavy metal, there's a massive scene of metal reaction channels, which have become a sort of marketing for one of them. So band who was the metal reaction channels is basically the new metal journalists. That's how we reach new audiences. And what they said was essentially one of those, because it was an interview with the band and one of those reactors, and he was like, yeah, I mean, what I have to do is for 90% of the videos I have now that I've got an audience, I can go to the label and say hey, I just posted this video, could you flag it as fine? And he has to do that
every time.
And I think he uploads 3 times a week. So 3 times a week he has to the day after upload the video, send an email to the label and say, and to his contact person at the label, say hey, yeah, you remove this with the video. And some of them are really cool about it and be we'll just put a white flag on your entire channel. But some of them he has to contact for each and every one of them, and then sometimes even say no, and it's the whole thing.
How long does he have to wait for them to get back to him, though?
I think now that that guy has 250,000 subscribers, it's probably quite.
He's got clout. Yeah.
But when he was 20,000, it was probably was lucky if they even got back at all. But nowadays it's become such a big thing. But I mean, it's one of those. I mean, you have to add some value. and you can't use more than 10 minutes of footage of something. Obviously, you can 10 minutes of this thing and 10 minutes of another thing. That's fine. You can use more, 20 minutes of one thing. That's against rules. So it's and I think the whole pausing every 10 or 20 seconds, I think that's more of a like we try to trick the algorithm into not blocking this, and I don't think it really works.
No, I agree. Well, good luck with that, my friend. So you're aiming, you're working on it now, you're editing it, and then you're going to put it out at some point next week. Are you looking to do the same date every month, or
no? It's just going to be whenever we have time. So I mean, I have a busy schedule, so does he. So I mean, it's going to be one of those.
Yeah.
We'll see when we can make it work.
That's good.
So
you see, just don't forget us, mate. When we're going down, you're going up.
This is a weekly thing. That's every now and then.
That sounds really good. He's a lovely fellow as well, Maurice.
Yeah, he is.
He's a good guy.
Fun. Really fun.
I thought Maurice was his alter ego.
No, his alter ego's Ninja Guy X, mate. He was never christened Ninja Guy X.
No, I know that, but I'm trying to say on a stream, I thought Ninja Guy X and then the Maurice.
Yeah, Maurice is the guy with the guy who's a hit with the ladies.
Yeah.
Well, I've called him that because that's what I've always heard John call him. I assumed that was his name.
It might be. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. I don't know.
Don't know. He's probably called Antoine or something. I just assumed that was his name. Nobody knows my name.
I know your name.
I know everybody knows my name.
It's Philip.
Philip.
No, it's Phyllis.
Phyllis. Yeah, exactly. The truth is out. Guys, thank you so much as always. Fantastic show. Thank you so much, chat, for sticking with us as well. Hopefully it was interesting. We try and mix it up. It's not all about games, but it's our little end of the week treat just to chill out for the coming weekend, which is all good. I will be back on tomorrow, in fact, for the wonderful Wheel of Winners, where I will be choosing 2 winners for the various prizes on offer over at the Rokk Show, which is always a good show. And then I've got a show with John Scar on Saturday, which is
what's that all about?
No, it's not that.
Oh, it's not that one.
No, that's September 30th.
Right. Next
week. No, this is us playing one of the Jackbox box games with some folk from Google, I believe.
Ooh,
so even more fun. So we'll be doing that, and and then back on Rock Around the Clock on Monday, Rokk Show Tuesday, and on and on and on. And then, of course, we are back next week, same time, 8 p.m, with some more cloud-like gaming news.
See you guys in a week.
Yes. Take care, everybody.
Time flies. See you then. Bye-bye.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, and don't forget as well, this amazing piece of music by Al Davis Music, Code Z, which you're about to see the whole thing for. Penned and written, composed for us. Amazing piece of work. Exclusively.
World exclusive.
Oh, wow.
No, sorry, world premiere.
That was very sexy, wasn't it? I think I need to go and have a cold shower.
I'm definitely tuning into his music show next week.
See you later, fellas. Goodbye.
Yeah. Goodbye.